Hey everybody, it is LCid932 on YouTube. Thank you so much for joining me. We ain't got no entry music, okay? No entry music this time because we got to get to France. Even though it was just 3 episodes, Love is Blind France keeps on giving and keeps on delivering. I don't know what to tell you, but let me say hello. Hey, Sam, you looking forward to this? Girl, I've been looking forward all week. Hey, Ari, glad to see you. Glad to see you. Hey, Munira, glad to have you here listening while you eat. Hey, we promise not to give you any indigestion, or at least we hope not to give you any indigestion. Okay? Okay. Hey, Poopa 8, glad to see you. Glad to have you here. Hey, for heaven's sake, glad to see you guys. I'm always seeing your lives. Glad to have you here. Y'all, for heaven's sake, is also covering Love is Blind France. They're also covering your Love Island stuff. Y'all know I don't do the Love Island stuff. That ain't my thing. But I do pop in and show support. So definitely, of course, please support their channel. I can't get Mr. El Cid to come on camera. So, definitely shout out to you, Nana. So Love is Blind France gave us only 3 episodes this week. And as I have the couples up there, I'm just going to go through them. Okay. Let's start with Van Mee and Sabrina. Sabrina needs to pack up and go home. Please go home, Sabrina. Sabrina is seeing like enemies in every corner. She's coming in here. Yes, she, went to his job, saw what he does. He, stretched her, shoulder. If Sabrina walks in one time and Van Mee is helping a very good-looking lady, let's say one of the ladies from the cast, let's say Cynthia, needs to get her shoulders straightened out because she's bending too much over to kiss Jonathan. Yes, I said it. If Cynthia is in the position that Sabrina was in this round of episodes, Sabrina would go off. I'm sorry, she would definitely go off. Oh, thank you so much, Ari. Thank you for supporting the channel. Now, Ari does this because Ari wants to see Chewbacca, and we're going to give her what she asked for. Thank you so much for supporting the channel. Y'all, we have fun clips around here. Okay? Definitely. So if Sabrina caught him helping out a fabulous looking or even mildly attractive young lady, she would cheer up Van Mee's office. And I don't think that's going to bode well. Now, Van Mee's family, his sister, oh my gosh, sister, I really like you. When she said the pathology and she said the sociopath of it all, I said, is she in the medical field in that manner? Is that why she's actually saying maybe, Sabrina she's diagnosing her? I want to know. Okay. I don't actually just surprised the last few times you used Chewbacca. Yes, I would use Chewbacca sometimes, but we have others for memberships and other forms. Okay. Yes. Van's sister clocked her and clocked it. She did. Okay. If this is your first time here, I'm going to cover all of the couples and then I'm going to drop the link for you to come on and us to have a conversation and get your thoughts. Okay. Now, what else was there? Sabrina also saying that Van Mee is looking at Kim a particular way and that Kim, is his type in front of everybody and say she don't want to cause a scene. You are causing a scene. Hey, to go to Africa. I'm not sure I said hello to you. Glad to see you. Lady Lyrics. Okay. Happy Saturday. Yes, happy Saturday. I was like, you are causing a scene. Your voice is elevated. You're waving your finger in his face at the couch. You're posturing at Van Mee. How is this not creating a scene? Somebody please explain to me how Sabrina not causing a scene. Hey, Debbie, glad to see you. I am happy you caught the live. We've missed you. We certainly have missed you, Debbie. Let me move on. Oh, hello, Olivia from France. Thank you for joining us. I hope you you don't have to come on camera, but I hope you want to join our conversation later, okay? She's definitely imagining or projecting that, in my opinion. Right. Who has caused Sabrina to, think like this? Huh. I wonder about her past relationships with these gentlemen, if this is how they behaved. Okay, Yannick and Tatiana. Tatiana. You used your mother to get at that man, didn't you? You used your mother to give him the tongue lashing that you wish that you had given Yannick. Isn't that right? That's just my opinion, y'all. That's my opinion for entertainment purposes only. You sticked your mother on that man. Highly disrespectful. I mean, we could have got on Yannick disrespectful, but showing up empty-handed to their house. Yannick, it don't take 5 minutes later for you to go get a bunch of flowers for her mama. Because she would look highly, highly disrespectful too if you came with a gift and she chewing you out. Like if you are a lowly human being that does not deserve to be in her presence. I'm sorry. So now here's where I'm going after production on behalf of Yannick and Tatiana. Why did we only see their conversation with the notary? Production, why did we only see Yannick and Tatiana in front of the notary? We didn't have to see that scene. We just needed the aftermath. We just needed the aftermath of he ain't signed it. And then we could have gone on from there. But to sit there and have the notary look at Yannick some kind of way, and I have no problem with Yannick saying, hey, I'd rather read this and I'd rather talk to my brother about it. Perfectly fine, perfectly understandable. I have no problem with it. And he could choose not to sign. That is his right. We're going to side-eye him, but that is his right. Okay, that is Yannick's right not to sign. But it seemed to me like they wanted to show his or her how their monies don't match. And I was like, why am I seeing this notary? If we're looking at monies don't match, you could have given me Thomas and Kim. You could have given me that if we want to talk about monies don't match. I still don't know exactly what Chloe does for a living. I mean, you know what I'm saying. So why are we doing that? Why are we doing that? Okay, think production wanted the carnage of it all. They did, Sam, but they ain't got the carnage where they wanted to. We could have just seen them on the couch. The notary has left and Yannick refused to sign. That would have been enough. But something is going on as to why also I'm going to be on Tatiana's side. Something is going on why they're constantly showing us Tatiana coming at Yannick. Yannick is no saint. Yannick is no saint, okay? He is no saint. I'm going to say that for the people in the back. But production is constantly showing us with her coming at him. And I'm saying that's editing. Hey, rejection is protection. So glad to have you here live. So that whole thing, and then Tatiana, for you to be telling your mother what is couple's business. It is not your mother's business if he canceled the appointment because he was playing soccer with his fellas. Not your mother's business. That's between y'all. You could chew him out at the apartment for that. Yannick, I hope you're not teaching her a lesson by trying to make it seem like if she has to, be late or cancel appointments because she may have some mom duties. I hope you're not doing that. But we never got to hear what Yannick's excuse was. Ladies, I need us to hush. I need Tatiana and her mama to hush. What was Yannick's excuse? He said it wasn't soccer. He said that is not it. But we never heard what his excuse was. And I'm pissed at that. I need to hear his valid excuse before I chew him out. Tatiana, also, it is not your mother's business that he didn't sign with the notary. Granted, yes, you could talk that with her. But for mama to be coming at him like that, disrespectful. How do we expect Yannick's family to treat you now? How should we expect Yannick's family to treat you? And I have heard folks from France, thank you so much for coming in my comments, telling me that Tatiana was a little bit rude because his brother was rude in meeting her. And we have not said that scene. That is rumor. There's a rumor that was stated, okay? Sam says she feels the need, she is compelled to cape for Yannick a bit. Her mother was simply doing too much. He couldn't win for losing. Right. Maybe he also didn't tell Tatiana. He didn't apologize either. Maybe he didn't. But that, to me, that is some Relationship stuff I don't need to be involved in. See, if my friend and her boyfriend start nickering about that, I'm just sitting back, sipping my good wine or French champagne, and I got nothing to say. I'm going to watch the show, but I got nothing to say. But mama now is involved here. How is Tatiana supposed to find a husband now? What man out there, and you could certainly let me know, what man out there wants Tatiana's mama as their mother-in-law? What man? After seeing this, what man wants to be a part of this family? I'm just asking, because I am certainly not a gentleman, and I'm certainly not looking for a wife. What man would be open to all of this? Tatiana wants Yannick to pay for everything, but he cannot choose where they live. What if he gets a job in another country? You know, I think there needs to be compromise. Yes, do not pick up your son and change his whole life for someone you just met, even though y'all might be married. I understand that. I know. I got 2 kids. We ain't doing that. Here's my thing. Can it be a compromise? How about we live like this? And then after the school year is over, we consider moving to your area. Are the schools better? Is this better? But here's the thing I'm going to need, if I was Tatiana, I need family support. I have family support here. What is the family support like there? And then we can make a decision. That's a compromise. Rejection, protection. Why are we sharing his brother being rude to Tatiana, but only her mother on Yannick? I smell a rat in the editing room. I smell it too. Rejection is protection. Why are we constantly seeing Tatiana at Yannick and we're not seeing the opposite? If there is footage, if it's true, if the rumor mill is true that Yannick's brother was rude, I still need to see it because I need to determine, was he really rude? I don't know. Because I'm saying the girls here are mean girls in France, but folks in France are like, they're regular. So I need to know, was he really rude? Thomas and Kim. Kim already done moved out. I said, Kim don't like your elbows on the table, Thomas. I think y'all need to go. Before your daughter, Thomas, says she don't like Kim. Before your daughter says she don't like that dog. Before Kim says, I need my dog to be, on a higher plateau. I need you to leave. Thomas, Kim, y'all need to leave. Now, here's the thing. Thomas, I find it quite strange. You were emotional as all heck the night when the ladies was coming at Julie, but you're willing to buff up your chest when Anais talk about Eleanor. Okay, Thomas. I'm seeing the difference in your emotional, how can I say, your outward show of emotions. I'm seeing something strange about that. Your chest all hyped up about Eleanor. You willing to be tat for tat saying some slick stuff at the table and all that stuff. Well, thanks, Anais. This is what's going to get me in trouble again. And da-da-da-da. I done said something crazy in front of the notary. Why didn't we see that editing? Since Thomas mentioned he said something wild in front of the notary that Kim didn't like, that would have been a scene I would like to see. I would have liked to see their notary, meeting when he said that and Kim's reaction in her face. That would have said it all. But no, we want to show Yannick and Tatiana in front of the notary, and he refused to sign. I'm telling you, editing, there are certain things around here. If you're new to this channel, we know about editing. We know that everything we're shown is to tell a story, and we try to dig beneath and know what is the story they're trying to tell us. Now, Charles and Julie. We didn't have a family visit. We kind of understand. Okay? We understand the tragedies that Charles and Julie have had. Julie, though, has friends that are her chosen family. I would have liked to have seen that meeting. I don't like that we don't see any family meeting for Charles and Julie. That is what I'll say. They both have friends, and we know in other areas of Love is Blind, if we don't have family, we certainly do the meet the friends. Julie, I hope you really do like Charles. I mean, when we met Julie, she said that men prefer to sleep with her rather than marry her. So I was giving her a pinch of salt in sending him off to another room. But I'm wondering if Julie didn't want to start physically with Charles like she did with many a relationship. But when she was talking with Chloe, I'm like, she says she ain't attracted to him. He ain't really what she's liking. So I'm side-eyeing Julie only because you're looking at how Kim, Sabrina, and all of them are saying Charles is an elf and an Oompa Loompa and all of that stuff. But Julie, you were treating him like one. At least that's what we were shown. You were treating him like he was one of those. And I'm like, ugh, Charles, I hope you're not so wanting to be loved that you're going to accept any kind of behavior towards you. But hey, y'all are saying everything is good. Charles is saying he's duly satisfied. He has moved into the room and between the sheets. So hey, I'm happy for y'all. I still don't believe if y'all are actually going to say, I do. I have hope, but hope is a 4-letter word. I have hope, but I don't know. We got to see a little bit more with them. Alex and Chloe. Alex is in his head too much. Well, let's start with Chloe. Chloe is already gone for this man. Chloe's head is in the clouds. Chloe is gone for this man. Chloe is looking across the room and like, oh my gosh, that's my man. Have you seen my man? My man is awesome. Have you seen my man? She is gone for Alex. Now, we have not seen how their relationship has grown. We have not seen what Alex has done to create all these stars, spangled, and banners in Chloe's eyes. All these champagne bubbles in Chloe's eyes. I don't get it. We have not seen the development of their relationship outside the pods. Alex, meanwhile, is like, I'm giving you a little bit, and you are satisfied with that. He's given just a little bit, and she's satisfied, and he doesn't know if he's given her enough. And if you that worried and you're not speaking, Alex, I'm worried for you. Chloe, I'm worried more for you than him. Because I'm seeing, actually at the altar, I'm seeing Chloe all glowing and beautiful and saying yes, and Alex saying no, and I could see it really hurting Chloe. But Alex gave us a good insight in saying, hey, my family don't show outward emotion. My family ain't in the hugging, kissing, and the I love yous. So this ain't my life. This ain't what I'm about. That's what Alex is saying. And I don't know if Chloe really needs that much more. But I think in all of this and learning who your person is, you have to tell them like, hey, Alex, I need you to hold my hand more. Or hey, Alex, you have to affirm, I really like it when you do this. You're doing this right. In all of these couples, they got to say that to each other. You have to affirm because these people don't know you. They don't know you. People are casting their roles and then editing done to match a character they were meant to be. Right. Because as we see in, what I start my lives and stuff with is this show does not encapsulate who the person is. It doesn't encapsulate the entirety of these people because we only see in snippets. Now I'm going to take y'all comments down for a minute. Cynthia and Jonathan. Cynthia. Okay, let's start. Y'all had that argument. Jonathan talking on the beach with the fellas, acting like a wounded warrior. I'm sorry. Folks in France, y'all are in my comments telling me that y'all think Cynthia is speaking wild and wicked to that man. I will say when I'm listening to it in French, her tone is there, but I'm going to chew you out, Jonathan. Even if you feel slighted by this lady, this whole aggressive, this whole angry woman trope, I don't like it. Whether it's America, whether it's France, I don't like it. I'm not saying he can't say that her tone is wild, but I don't like the trope of saying, oh, she's there. Because we can hear Cynthia's tone is wild. And if you don't think Cynthia's tone is wild, when she told him stop humming when they were eating, that was wild. Don't think about it. Stop it. Don't think about it. Don't work on it. Stop humming. I was like, Cynthia, okay, let me back it up. Let me back it up a bit. Because that right there is where I had to pause and I had to go back and watch it over and over because it was wild to me. The man is humming while he's eating. Granted, maybe you don't like the humming. Maybe you don't like the tune he's humming. But when you were Don't think, do it. Is he a pet? Is he a pet? Is he a pet? That you're like, don't think, do it. When men tell you they don't have the emotional intelligence, it's always a problem. Maya said, when people tell you who they are, believe them the first time. Thank you, Motown Investor. Does the shoe fit? Aza, see, glad to have you here. Okay, glad you are here. Does the shoe fit is wild because remember the issue with Cynthia and Jonathan is the shoes. Okay, it's her constantly interrupting him. I notice they all interrupt each other a lot. They do, Alicia. Thank you for being here again. They do interrupt each other a lot. But when she said, don't think about it, just do it, I was like, Cynthia, pause for a minute. Pause. Let's stop for a minute. Poopa says, does the flip flop fit? Can we say that like 6 times fast? It was wild. And then he's over there with the fellas and they trying to console him. And in there saying console him, he's like, no, don't do too much because you know she gonna be upset. Now here's my side eye at you, Jonathan, with she gonna be upset. You already had your bags packed. So why would we care if she's upset? Because you knew you were going home. Why would we care? Okay, why would we care? And the angles at which y'all weren't doing Cynthia any justice, production, the angles at which we saw her looking, and she may not even been looking at the men. She could have been looking at the oceans. But the resting bee face, I was like, Cynthia, you know they're going to use them, still shots of you. Jonathan knew he could use the angry black woman trope against her. Who knows what he's been saying to her, which has been left out. Now, we knew what he was saying to her in the bathroom. We knew what he was saying to her. And now we kind of have an inkling, y'all. This is the only reason I don't like that Jonathan was telling her, change her shoes, don't do this. If you didn't want her standing over you, say, hey, this first time meeting, could you wear, a shorter shoe? And then afterwards, I'm kind of okay with it. I just don't want our first impression to really be you standing way taller than me. I get that. As I tell y'all, my grandfather was a 5'5" something, if so much. And my grandmother was 5'9". He didn't care. He didn't care about heels or anything. But again, there were times where she would wear flats. Whether they had a conversation, I don't know. But in this whole conversation, you got to tell her, hey, but we know it's true. Did you see how they treated Charles? Can you imagine? And this is no excuse for how Jonathan came at Cynthia. But can you imagine the piranhas circling, the piranhas including Kim, Sabrina, okay, and calling Jonathan all kinds of names because Cynthia came in wearing heels and taller than him. If that's how they treated Charles, they would treat Jonathan exactly that way. But Jonathan, you're too concerned with how people say things and what people's impressions of you are. But let's get to the other part of it. So they decided to leave, okay? Okay, they decided to leave. Yes, Azza, they would have called them Elf 1 and Elf 2. You know how they say Thing 1 and Thing 2? They would have called them Charles and Jonathan that, okay? They would have totally done that. Jonathan has Napoleon syndrome, small man syndrome. He definitely shows, some of that. Now, when Cynthia walked in, okay, y'all, I'm going to leave it for us to talk about Sarah's little, walk in, walk out. Sarah wasn't there other than production tell her to be there so she don't get fined. I mean, granted, we didn't see Cindy and Yannick conversation. We didn't see Julian with Sabrina meeting up after the fact, but we only saw Sarah come in and we only saw Clement. I love saying his name. We only saw Clement come in really for Kim. And I'm sorry, Kim and Clement look like, could we get together after this is all done? That's how they looked. I'm not saying they did, okay? When Cynthia walked in that mixer engagement party, I said, daggone it. Daggone it. When she took that leather jacket off, I said, daggone it. She has come with the spider's web looking like a black widow spider, and she is going to ensnare Jonathan. I said, Cynthia going to ensnare this man tonight. If she doesn't tell him off, she's going to ensnare him. And I said, Jonathan, be strong. Jonathan, be strong. She is coming for you. Be strong. And when she took that leather jacket off, Cynthia looked amazing. I was like, ooh, 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 ooh. Cynthia looked amazing in her all black, coming in with her revenge outfit. I'm sorry, that's what I'm gonna call it. Or get Jonathan back. And I was like, why are we trying to get him back? Why are we telling him he smells so good? That is, oh, I love that smell on you. She was, fire on 10. She was fire on 10. And then when she sat there and Jonathan, he was ready. Jonathan was like, okay, I'm ready. She ain't gonna pull nothing on me. I'm ready for the fire. And this is what I tell y'all ladies all the time. He ready for a fight. And Cynthia came in and disarmed him because she wasn't there to fight. Okay? Cynthia was not there to fight. At least not fight, real hard. She was there to fight with a feather. Okay? That was her thing. She was ready to fight with a feather. And when she slid over to John, can we talk? And then she had the nice voice and told him he smelled good, he looked good, and it feels good to be holding his hand. That I added that part. That's when Jonathan fell. Jonathan fell. Okay, like the movie Get Out, he fell all the way into the abyss. And y'all see them playing with the palm and sliding the fingers over the palm. I said seduction on 10. And I said, Cynthia, I hope you are not here to get him back, to move in, only to dump him because he dumped you at the villa. That's where I was side-eyeing. That's where I was side-eyeing. Cynthia, what are we trying to do? Why would we want this man? Is, you said, disrespectful. Okay? This man talked to you all kinds of ways. Why are we back here looking like we're trying to get him back? Why? What is the purpose? If he wild and outrageous, just be polite. We don't have to put on the seduction and lure him into the spider's web. Why do we have to do it? Yes, Sam, I'm getting mixed signals. I'm getting mixed signals from Cynthia. Definitely. She has a touch of desperation, just a oud de desperation. That's what she has. I'm sorry. Okay. Whew. I am too getting a bad, the editing for Cynthia could be off. It could be, but I'm telling you, we saw snippets of it, of her and Jonathan's bad behavior, because Jonathan was wild too. We saw snippets of both of their wild behavior. And I was like, I was on Jonathan's neck, if you see my recap, and I was like, wait a minute, let me reel it back. Okay. Let me reel it back. Thank you to go to Africa. Yes, a femme fatale. Yes, she came in there. Come into my spider web. Said the spider to the fly. Jonathan truly is the fly in this instance, about to be swallowed up. Sorry. At least Cynthia knows how to use her power, phenomenal woman, but she deserves better. Yes, they both deserve better. They both, I'm not doing this whole both sides thing. I saw problematic behavior from both Cynthia and Jonathan. They are a problem. And then coming back here to try and reel him in, I said, Cynthia, no. Hey, KW, glad to have you here. Glad you caught the live. We were just over there at Sade's. Yes. With little Love Island, what is it? Love Island channel or Love Island games. Okay. But yeah, I am just like, Cynthia, you confuse me. Why would you even come here and not just be polite to him? I mean, I would have worn my highest heel and platform just to show that, you are still beneath me. But that's just my being petty, because I'm a tall gal like Cynthia. And I would definitely, I couldn't wear what you were wearing because Cynthia looked good. That ain't my outfit. That ain't my choice. But the girls were out. I'm sure Cynthia was smelling good too. She looking good. And Jonathan fell. I mean, like quick, Jonathan fell. So this was another show for me to show how the power dynamic switched. Really, the power dynamic switched, and she ensnared Jonathan again. I was like, ugh, Jonathan. And I just was like, please don't let them move into the apartments. Please don't have them come back. I really don't need to see them here doing this. I don't think Jonathan will take the bait. He might seem to, but he'll bail out soon afterwards. Hey, he'll bail out as soon as she stands up. Yes, I said it. He gonna bail out as soon as she stands up. Because remember, she was sitting in the chair and he was sitting on the arm of the chair. And that too, as a tall galley, okay, as a tall girly, that too is also to give a person who is shorter than you a sense of a power play, a sense that they may be above you. That's just a little bit of power play, but you know you got him. You know you got him. But that was just a power play. She had that sulky, really, really, really husky voice. It was nice and tender. And then she was touching his hand, telling him he smelled good. And you know Jonathan was falling for it. You know she was falling for it. You know he was falling for it. Jonathan tripped and fell into her bosom. Well, he didn't have to trip much to fall into it, KW. Remember, if they're standing, that's his line of sight. I'm petty. Yes, I said it. I said it. That's his line of sight. He just has to, walk forward. He ain't got the trip. But maybe when they're sitting, he got to do that. Internalized misogyny. Yes. But I'm telling you, that power play Cynthia did of sitting down while he's sitting on there, it's to give him, okay? Okay? Respect for having all the cast in the bottom of your screen because sometimes I forget who's who. Well, I'm sorry that Cynthia and Jonathan are behind your comments, but sometimes the comments don't replay afterwards. But yeah, I do that too because I need to also have it for me when I need to, so I don't forget a cast member or forget a couple. Okay. So that, in 30 minutes was me going over there. I'm going to drop the link. Anybody who wants to come and have a conversation about it, we're going to talk about it, but I have a few questions for you. Jay, if y'all have seen last time, we had someone named Jay, a wonderful listener, who came here and told us all about France and France politics and the people. And how these ladies are not mean girls, that they are just regular French ladies. So Jay, if you are here, please come back. I have questions. Okay, I have questions, Jay. If you are here, please come back. But I have my first caller. Hey, Ari.
Hello.
Is that
I just to kind of clarify, I still haven't watched those 4 episodes of Brazil yet. Okay. So this is just based off of what I've seen from France. So that's what my side was about.
Oh, okay.
Okay, because I was like,
you have homework to do because our live for Brazil is tomorrow at 5:05.
Yeah, I know. That's why I waited because I knew I had time. Because I was like, I can only watch a show with subtitles for so long before I'm like, I kind of want to put something on as a kind of like background noise if I need to do something. And obviously this has subtitles. And I'd rather watch it with subtitles personally because I think it sounds better coming from the people's own voices. But that's personally just me. I don't even know where to start. Well, okay,
then let me guide us. Let me guide us.
Actually, no. I think I have one thing I want to say for the overall arching season because I think this kind of really affects multiple couples, or at least 2 couples, if not more than those 2. I'm sick of this non-footage stuff. I'm really sick of it because we got this basically in spades with the US version of Love is Blind with, I think it was season 3, if I'm not mistaken, with the Cole and Yannick situation and the cutie gate.
Yes.
If y'all watch that season and of that version, you know what I'm talking about. It was a whole mess. And if you didn't, I'll kind of summarize it a little bit. So Yannick was telling Cole she hadn't eaten anything for most of the day or all day or something like that. So he was like, why don't you eat something or something like that? And she got on this soapbox about how, um, you know, you basically called me fat or something like that. This is years ago and I only watched the season 1, so don't kind of quote me on this verbatim. But then he was like, I didn't say that. None of what you said is true. And turns out production was sitting on the beautiful bean footage and showed that union. It was like, he actually suggested, "Hey, I'll order like you like a poke bowl or something like that." And it was, I mean, it was a whole mountain
She
out of
said
a.
she refused the poke bowl because she said she had that yesterday.
Okay, thank you, because yeah, like I said, this was, but yeah. So long
Girl, I
story
know that
short,
whole scene. I know that whole thing because I was, this is the moments where I was like calling Cole, all kinds of stuff. And then when they show that footage, I said, Zainab, get out my face.
Zainab, did I call her Yenna? Okay, you know what? I was. Thank you, because I just butchered the whole name. I'm sorry about that, Zainab.
That's
If you
okay.
see this, please forgive me. But yeah, but long story short, I don't like this whole non-footage showing because it basically boils down to a he said, she said. And it comes down to who you believe more without actual verifiable footage of what
What
like
actually happened, but we kind
yeah.
we kind of hear their argument in the bathroom, and we
No,
kind of
I'm not.
hear his desperation in the bathroom not to be shorter. But sir, that is
No, I
genetics
mean,
biology.
no, I mean that you can I mean you hear it, so it's not like you don't have anything to go off of. But that, I mean, I was mainly talking about like Tim and Thomas because they're saying a whole bunch of stuff, and it's like basically he said, she said. Like, we don't have any of that footage unless production got it and they just holding on to it for some stupid reason, like they're doing with Zainab and Cole, like they did Zainab and Cole.
Probably, I would hold on
But
to that notary footage.
but I'm also kind of talking about Jonathan and Cynthia too, just because um he was saying, well, she's this, aggressive person, and she's yelling at me or yada yada yada, like, and her her tone is a little off. I will admit that,
A
but
little.
I'm trying to be gracious here, okay? I'm trying to be a little gracious here for her, like.
Hold on 1 second. Jay, I see you in the back, but it says your devices are not connected, okay? So maybe you want to go out and come back in. Jay, okay? Okay, Ari, go ahead.
But what I'm getting at is like from what I remember, he was referencing a lot of stuff that happened off camera, and unless we see that footage, I'm not gonna lambast her simply because her tone was off.
Yeah, but that don't think about that whole humming thing was when
Yeah,
she snatched
yeah,
him, and I said, "Whoa."
that I agree with. That part was way off. It shouldn't never have happened. I'm just saying, like, for the most part, what Jonathan was saying, what I gathered is like he was saying that a lot of the stuff that he was complaining about for her happened off camera, and it's the
They
same thing happened
Right.
with
They
Tim and
showed
Thomas. So
us
I'm like,
what he sounded like with talking to the men at the beach is he is getting beaten daily by the heels that she can't wear with him. That is what he is
exactly,
looking and sounding like. Like Cynthia is
exactly.
beating him because she can't wear her heels. Let me get
That's
Sam and Jay to have a moment to say something. Hey Sam.
Hey, El Cid, Ari, Jay, and chat. Hope all is well.
Hello.
Yeah, Ari is really hitting the nail on the head, and I think that it applies to all of them in terms of the edits. But specifically, I'm really seeing what she's saying as it relates to Jonathan and Cynthia, meaning when we kind of plop into that place where we see for the first time there's all this friction over the heels, it felt like it went from 0 to 10 really quickly. Like, I was wondering, was there something else that had gone on to where maybe something had been said and we just didn't see that? Did he kind of touch upon it? hoped that she would make, I mean, it gets so kind of piecey in the sense that you're left to wonder. It just seems like this eruption of emotions, and I don't know if it's exactly what I'm looking at, or if there was some pre-conversation or non-conversation that can be just as bad. It's difficult when you feel like, I get it, they're trying to make a show, they've got to make a show, but when you play those types of production editing games, it does, like I said, make you kind of, do I want to beat this person up or do I not? Because I feel like I'm missing some context. Now you're right. There are obvious things like telling somebody, your humming is really annoying. I thought that was a bit much. But then if I go to, I'm sorry, I'm going to get the names wrong. I can see bigger. Yannick and Tatiana, the whole mother thing makes me think, is there something else, again, for context, that happened? The mother came in hot. I mean, she was hot from the start. Like as soon as he put his foot in the door.
Yep, without a gift. Without a gift.
Yeah. Now he should have. Yeah. When I looked at that and saw the brother didn't have flowers or want something, or didn't ask Tatiana, hey, I'm coming to see your mom. What does she like? Yeah, he put himself in a bad way with that. But
like,
again, it just seemed like, my goodness.
But like I said earlier, for Evan's sake, on their channel, when I was on their live yesterday, I didn't see anybody bring any gifts to any family gathering. So Jay, I'm gonna need you to tell me: do French people show up at your house empty-handed?
No, when you made it, first of all, hello. Thanks for
Hello.
having me back. I'm sorry, I'm a little bit tired because I had such a long night. I was out yesterday celebrating a friend's birthday, so pretty
Oh,
much, if I sound like
congratulations!
a little bit a friend's birthday, so I haven't slept much, but I just wanted to join and pretty much share, some feedback and
Awesome. Well,
opinion
thank
about this
you.
experience. And I got to see the episode actually yesterday before going out, like really quick. I just watched this time only once, so maybe I'm sure like there's a lot of stuff that I missed. But yeah, my opinion, like what you said, like no, especially when you're meeting somebody's family member, like especially a parent, like a mom or a dad, you I think in every culture you have to bring something. That's kind of a little bit rude and not, I mean, already from the get-go. And the fact that you cannot even turn off your phone, like, once, I mean, maybe he forgot, okay, I'm gonna give him a pass for that, when the phone was ringing and he was like, he excused himself. But at the same time, like, that was a big mistake on his part. But I wanted to point out like what a difference now the set of episodes now are compared to last week, because last week, like the first four episodes, everybody was like, oh, Cynthia, Cynthia, Cynthia. But in my honest opinion, this time around, I'm gonna be say something maybe controversial. Controver-
Mm.
I think Cynthia is the meanest this season, more than actually Sarah.
Ooh, 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 ooh,
And I,
ooh.
I mean, I was in shock to see what a toxic person she is. I'm like, for real. I mean, and to be honest, first of all, I don't know if you, I mean, if you're aware and you watch like the TikTok news and stuff. I don't know if you
I
make like,
did. I did. And folks are in my comments telling me her tone is rude.
but not
Her,
even
her
that, like what happened, like, I mean, she was involved like in a
yes,
mother's death, like
yes,
being part of a witchcraft, which is like kind of like crazy to me. I don't even want to talk about it because
right.
Cynthia, I'm
She,
sorry if you hear if you hear
yeah,
me, please
Cynthia,
don't do anything. I mean, I don't know what
just
she's
to,
capable of.
right, Jay, just to let everybody know, um, what's going around, and you could check TikTok and other social media that Cynthia was a part of a cult. There, where she was, underage. I think she was 14 or 16, and there's a whole lot of stuff behind there. She was, accused of
I
witchery
know
and all kinds of
it's
stuff.
not rumors actually. There's a video like that she did a testimony that she made, but I didn't get the chance to watch the full testimony, so I just watched a review from a TikToker and
Right.
stuff. But it is true. It's not even like it's a assumption or whatever. It is true because I think she shared that experience how she was part, and which even like I listened to those details about the witchcraft ceremony, but it was so crazy the detail but she was apparently involved in a mother's death where like she got like a mother transformed into a cow and they got to eat her, like, like after which, I mean, then I
There's a
think
lot. There's a lot. I don't want to
it was
go
a
into
lot.
detail
Yeah,
with
I didn't
those.
want to
Yeah.
go. Okay, yeah, and also to one of her ex-boyfriend too. We got into a car, like a accident and stuff. So yeah, so that's why I'm like, Jonathan, I can feel that. Okay, maybe he's sensing something or whatever, but he's like very feel like, to say somebody is like the worst person I've ever met in my life. That's kind of like, was it that serious? Okay, we can have a disagreement. Okay, yeah, I ask you to wear like some flat and you decided, but then to make it a big issue after 4 days, to say like that's the worst person. And he said like, like there's like a comment, it's like you totally different in front of a camera than when the camera are not showing up. So I'm like, okay,
But we
it
can accuse
looks like
him. We can accuse him of the same thing.
yes, I agree. I mean, trust me, he's not innocent too. Like he's very insecure. He's very like, yeah. But Cynthia, I'm like, wow, like her tone, like I mean, that's like the definition of being like cold condescending when they were at the dinner table. I mean, I don't know if you can perceive with the dubbing, like if you can, if they did a good job, like pretty much representing during the dubbing, like, but the demeanor is like, oh my God, I was really like, oh my God, no, Cynthia, we were rooting for you.
Yes, we definitely were rooting for her. And, she coming in there for him to, my thing is her seduction level was on 10, was a lot for me. Now, I want to go around the panel and let's talk about Sabrina and Van Mee, and Sabrina's outbursts, especially at the party. Stan, what were your thoughts about Sabrina's outburst? She said she didn't create a scene. We think she created a scene.
Yeah, no, I think that she absolutely created a scene. I think that, as someone said there, I can't remember who, it might have been Van, there's a time and there's a place to have the conversation. But, and I'm not making excuses for her, although it's about to sound like I am. I felt like Kim kind of stirred the pot on that. Like she was asking these questions. Well, when you say cute, cute versus beautiful versus, there's different. And so I felt like Kim kind of could see that Sabrina was triggered. Then Sabrina couldn't help herself. Then she's putting Van on the spot to be able to try to define, well, cute, good looking, beautiful. I definitely couldn't understand why she couldn't get to a point where, as he was saying, we're making a scene here, where this is getting to be a bit out of control. But it was almost as if she just couldn't, once she got on a roll of how she was feeling emotionally, she just couldn't help herself to continue in this place and in this space. So that's my thought on how she was reacting. And I was stunned that Van, by the next day, kind of had a place to kind of forgive quickly-ish. I mean, I think it still sat with him in his spirit somewhere, but I was a little bit surprised that he found it to kind of forgive so quickly, because the topic was almost a nothing burger that she got really upset over. And if that's what that is, then I don't know. And my final thought, and I'll land the plane here, those conversations around how a man feels about you in terms of your attractiveness, this and that has to be had offline. And then you have to deeper ask yourself, what longevity can you have with a man whom you thinks you're not necessarily his type, you're not his type, and what does that mean moving forward? Because as the sister clocked, Sabrina tells on herself for the things that she's upset and angry and triggered by, and that just doesn't bode well moving forward. So that was my impression of the blow up and the aftermath.
Now, Ari, did you think that Van Mee is the type of man to just show you his exes, or did Sabrina ask for it?
Thank you, because I was just about to bring that up, because I mean I agree with Sam about everything else, but I wanted to touch on that because I forgot about that part until you brought them up. This is another case of, like I was saying earlier, unless we see the footage, I have no one to really take a side for, because I can't lambast Van Mee when I I can't just go off of Sabrina's word because she could very well be lying. I don't want to 100% say she was right, and turns out she was wrong the entire time. But I also don't want to say that she was 100% wrong either. So until we see that footage, that beautiful bean footage, I'm not going to pick a side. Unfortunately, I'm not going to.
But do we
Um,
care? Do we care?
uh, um, I don't know. Um, I guess I would say it depends on what he was saying when he was showing the X's. If he showed them to her unprompted, like if he was saying something if he was saying something that was really off-putting and foul, then yes, we care. But if not, and he didn't even bring them up unprompted, no. Um, it just depends on I guess the context. I mean, I'm not trying to sound like Jonathan here when he was talking about the friends as exes thing, but the context in this case I think matters.
Okay.
Um, personally,
Okay. It can matter because it's like, why are you showing me all these other people when we're together?
and I do want to say one thing though. One thing that Sabrina was foul on was the fact that she was saying, well, the X's look like three or fours. I was like, that was so uncalled for. I
So
was
uncalled
like,
for.
what is wrong with you? Whether he really showed them unprompted or not, you didn't have to say that about those women. You don't know those women like that at all. You don't know them at all, besides the fact that they're his exes. You didn't need to say that whatsoever. So that's the only thing I'll say about that for sure.
Okay. Jay.
I, yeah. So, my opinion between with Vanny and Sabrina, I just think Sabrina is very insecure. She's like somebody who needs like reassurance like all the time. And those type of women in France, like who have like a big personality, like she described herself like she's like no, not hot temper. She said I don't know how you say that in English, like hot blood, like Mediterranean
Right.
women and stuff like that. Yeah, they passionate. Yeah, they like to have like they're not gonna let go of anything. But there are men who like those type of women in France. They have like big personality but too, so they can check and put them in their place. But I don't think that's who Van Me is. Van Me is more reserved, more passive. And I don't know if like they say, usually attractive, opposite people attract. But I
Right.
don't know if in this case scenario, I think Vanny like her, like but does he want to marry her like in a short experiment? I don't think so. Maybe if it was like the experiment was like on like a year or two where they take the time to discover each other, yeah, he will pretty much like open up and give her what she wants, like the constant reassurance, like yes, you are beautiful and all of that. But in terms of the ex and stuff, I'm sure it's Sabrina being so like insecure, asking him first about like, can you show me what your exes look like? Even when she met with Van
His
Mee's
sister.
sister, the
Mm-hmm.
first thing she asked, like, how was Van Mee's exes? I'm like, you're meeting her sister for the first time. Why do you care about like his exes? Just ask, things about him. Like, I mean, I don't know. I just found it weird.
I understand. Now, is this the Sarah from the show? Or is this Sarah from the chat? I just had to say that.
This is Sarah. I don't have an H, and I don't have any of that bitchiness, so I'm definitely not that Sarah.
That was funny.
We're glad to have you. Glad to have you. Besides that, we like a touch of spice. So if you have some of that spiciness, we will welcome it here. Thank you,
Fair.
Sarah, for clicking in. What are your thoughts?
So I was thinking about Sabrina a lot. I find her interesting in the sense that I've been somewhere that looks similar to where she's at, where it feels like in a lot of ways she's looking for an external relationship to heal a broken relationship she had with herself. Like there's something in her that is like she's saying like, you don't think I'm this, you don't, whereas like I can almost like hear the thoughts of, I don't think I'm this, I don't think I'm pretty, I don't think I'm, and I, which is, you know, I just a recipe for disaster. And I don't know any of this for sure. I'm just saying, like, looking at the outside, like I remember when I was that, and you know, it is what it is. But I just trying to fix it with something outside of yourself, as opposed to trying to fix it with a therapist and yourself, is it's just always going to end this way, because her partner is always going to fall short. He'll say she's beautiful 6 times a day. Why didn't you say it 7? You know, he'll want to take pictures with her 3 times, and why didn't you want 4? Like, there's work to be done. And just whenever this kind of person ends up on Love Is Blind, I always worry that, like, you know, hopefully seeing it makes it apparent to them, but often, like, I just wish like that they had gotten to have that, to figure this out away from the camera. Like, there's other kind of messy I'm here for, and I enjoy watching. You know, Jonathan and the height thing. I don't care about your height, but why did you wear the shoe? Like, you know, whatever. We'll get there eventually, but that I feel for her. I also think that, like, the whole, like, did Ben Mai, who was telling the truth about, I don't think Sabrina ever kind of said, how do I say this? When Ben Mai said, you know, well, you asked me to see it, I don't think Sabrina's response was, no, I didn't. It was like it was almost like she was answering a different question and like deflecting slightly. Like, I only watched it once. I don't know. And like, whenever someone does that, I'm always very suspicious, you know, of kind of like, it sounds more like the one, like the person who's directly speaking to it is likely telling the truth, and the person, not that she's, again, I don't necessarily think that's the thing. I don't think she feels like she's lying. I think she thinks that, like, the bigger thing is, she's insatiable. Yeah, I sorry, I was just looking at the comment you put up.
No problem.
Yeah. And I don't think she necessarily feels like she's lying. I just feel like she's in some kind of emotional spiral potentially. And when you're there, like, logic is not at the center of the whirlpool, even though you maybe think it is.
But remember, she asked Kim at the first Mix on Vacation, is Ben Mai handsome?
I think that speaks to, like, again, her inability to trust her own yardsticks of things, like, even about herself, about other people. Do we look good together? Like, she needs more things, like external validation, for something that she should be only, like, measuring from within. But like, it just feels like she doesn't have the ability to do that, and that creates this insecurity. Again, I'm not a therapist or anything like that. This is just like all the thoughts were circling in my head when I heard her speaking.
This is our expertise from all the reality TV that we watch.
I think that's fair. I think we have gathered quite a bit.
We have gathered, you know, we can do our own research paper on, you know, different themes that pop up with this, you know, and production. So I'm going to go round just the other way. Let's tackle then Yannick and Tatiana. Let's tackle Yannick and Tatiana. And Sarah, since you were last in, I'm gonna give you first dibs on it.
Last in, first out. I really love, like, they're great TV, but like I'm like ashamed of I have like issues with both of them. First off, like, I hate when people are late. I cannot stand it, especially if I'm already there waiting, and that's when
you preach.
You wait until I'm there to tell me you're going to be late. It drives me insane. And like, but on top of that, he was not even like, he waited until she was late. She was there. He waited until it was well into the appointment. She had to call him. He didn't call her. She had to call him. I just lost my mind. And on top of that, like, he didn't even just say he was sorry. Like, there was such a disregard for her time and like her energy, like that. He was just like, oh, it's fine. We're late. People are late all the time. Just literally just say you're sorry. Like, that's, I just don't understand it.
So let me throw something in there. We did not hear why he was late. Okay.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
We didn't hear why, and I think it is intentional. We didn't hear why he was late there or at the mother's. And yes, we could cancel at any time. And as I said, I don't know if he's trying to kind of tell her, hey, you could be late. You know, you could be late because of your business or because you're a mother. We don't know why he's late.
Okay. So are you saying you think that there's some, like, I don't know, kind of emergency-ish type of potentially?
I don't know if it's an emergency. It could be he's doing something for work, but we didn't get to hear it. But I think it's being edited in a way that we berate him for
Okay.
not being there because he's playing with his friends.
Okay, that's fair. I will say, do you think that it was if he? Do you think he maybe said he was sorry and it was edited out?
I think so because he said in the mother's thing, I have apologized for this.
Okay.
I have already apologized for this. So could we, why are we rehashing it? We've had this conversation is how I got it from him.
Sorry, you muted me. I thought you.
Oh,
I thought
no,
you
no, no.
wanted-
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I thought it was doing something else.
No,
sorry.
no, you're fine. Okay, that's fair. I mean, I definitely thought like, and maybe I was just getting triggered from the number of times I've been on that end of the phone call. Like, I felt
Girl.
like maybe his tone was like was kind of dismissive. Like, people are late. What does it matter? Like, just a million different conversations with like romantic partners, friends, siblings. Like, I just can't stand it. Anyway,
I'm with you.
Yeah, it's something I'll bring up with my therapist when we talk this week. But regardless, and Tatiana, I found I had an issue with Tatiana kind of saying I want Yannick to pay for the lion's share of things, but I want to make decisions about where we live, and I want to make decisions about like us moving places. Like I don't know, like there's no give and take. I feel like with her, like she wants the lion's share of control in a lot of ways that I understand as a woman who's like approaching 40, has been on her own for a while, has made it's hard to relinquish some of that, I'm sure, to a degree, when you've been so much of your adult life like making, I don't know how long she's been divorced from her first husband for him, but surely it's been some time. Yeah. Uh, but I still think if you want to get married, you have to like think of it that way. You have to think of like, okay, well, you want him to pay for everything. Like if you think about a traditional marriage, like, oh, the man pays for things. The man also then makes decisions. Like
Right.
I don't know. It feels like she's kind of wanting the best of all the worlds.
Right. Thank you so much, Sarah. Jay, what were your thoughts with Tatiana and Yannick?
I'm so disappointed. I was rooting for them, especially the first 4 episodes. We were so in love. Like we thought, like yeah, the black love in France was going to happen and stuff. But I think with a set of episodes now, the issue I think I think Yannick is not ready. He didn't realize okay what it takes to be maybe in a relationship with a woman who has a kid because most of the time I feel like sometimes like Tatiana, she knows already like okay, she wants him maybe to take lead on certain things, but he's too passive, like, oh, everything is fine, it's not a big deal. Whereas like she wanna shake him, say like, come on, okay, yes, maybe I don't want to impose on you like where we're gonna live, but give me all the options, take the lead, like bring up conversation about certain things. But you're not doing anything. Like it's always me like bringing up stuff. Like you don't realize like what it takes from me. My life right now is like I have somebody like a kid to take care. Like even like even introduce. Actually, I want to roll it back. When they first came back from vacation and they were living in the apartment when Tatiana realized like Yannick dated one of like a close friend of hers, I think maybe at that time now, okay, she kind of like was disappointed. Like, yeah, friends, people in Paris, especially when you're black, like like in the same age range, it's kind of a small community. Like, everybody knows each other, one another. Like we saw that with Thomas Ping and Kim as well later on and stuff. But I think already, but the fact like he didn't want to like maybe give a full story about really what happened and just wanted to move on and say like oh give me a hug, let's move on. Like no, she needs to feel reassured, like but you bring up stuff and detail. Like I think she's a like she's a boss lady. She wants in order for her to move forward, like okay, you have to set up the plan and explain to me how you're gonna make it to step 1 to step 2, like the future, like how do you envision it. Whereas I feel like, Yannick doesn't project himself that far enough, and even like, the meeting with a mom, which is kind of crazy, but to be honest, I a little bit understand because like, the traditional culture, like the African traditional culture, where like the family member has like an opinion of like usually your marriage, but I'm not agreeing is like usually it's like already your partner, your boyfriend, like wherever mom and the stepson already have a report where she can, okay, give her opinion on the situation. This time around, it was just the first time they met. It was really crazy, but it was really entertaining. I mean,
It was definitely entertaining. But as folks said in my comments, that the rumor is that his brother was rude to her. We don't know. We haven't seen
oh
it.
really?
That's
Okay.
in French social media as well. And someone came and told me about it, and I went looking. But
Oh, okay.
if I need to, just like Ari said about the cutie story, about perception and all of that, I need to know, I need to see that scene to see if the brother was really rude or is this a perception issue. But even if his brother is rude, and I'm sorry to say this, even if his brother is rude, that does not mean you sick your mama on this man. Because I'm
Oh, yeah.
sorry.
Do
There's
you?
no way anybody would want to marry into either family.
Okay, I understand. Yeah, it's true.
You're going to ask me, do I what?
I mean, do you think maybe, I mean, we haven't seen this scene. Like, maybe do you think like maybe the brother like brought up like a son, sometimes like, when you brought like somebody's son and stuff like that, the fact like Yannick doesn't have any kid and whatever, maybe she felt like attacked. So, okay, I'm gonna give you like a job back
I would
with my mom and stuff. I mean, do you think
I would
that's,
give you that because we know Tatiana too. Are we having more children?
yeah, because like when they say she was rude, I don't think Tatiana is somebody who's gonna be really like offended by, because like I said, like the culture in France is different. People can take being rude to each other. Like, I mean, what, from the outside, like, people will think it's rude, but if it's
But
direct and frank,
if it will be rude if you bring up Tatiana's age and if she's going to have any more children.
okay.
Because as you said,
Which is like a
Yannick don't
fair,
have,
okay. Yeah, it's true.
which
Yeah.
Yannick doesn't have kids. That could be considered rude, but it is a legitimate question and it
And
is
yeah,
fact. So
true.
I would be side-eyeing, but I would still need to see. We're all, thinking about what it could be. We don't know what it is. And
Yes.
even if the brother is rude, why would you sick your mother on him when
Yeah.
this is a reason for me to be in the car blessing you with my speech about how rude your brother was. But
Yeah.
again, we're all kind of speculating here. But I see
I saw
someone
the
has
film The Reunion this week, actually, just my last time.
go ahead. What?
I say I just saw actually the film The Reunion on Wednesday this week, so
Yes, they did. They filmed the reunion.
hopefully we'll get answer.
Okay, I don't know. Sarah, come back. Alicia, I see you came from the chat up here. You said you download the app. Thank you so much. Come on up and give us your thoughts on Yannick and Tatiana, please.
Hi everyone. So I'm French, so I'm just apologizing in advance for my accent.
Don't apologize. We love it. I thought you were going to apologize for the behavior of the ladies on the cast.
Oh, I don't think anyone will make it to the altar for this season. I think that they should all say yes to therapy.
Okay.
Um, so my opinion on Yannick and Tatiana. Do we speak? Do you want me to talk about the last episode that we saw, or from the beginning of the TV
What
show?
you could encapsulate, everything, go into your thoughts on them, and you could pick that scene or what have you.
Okay, so to me, they haven't discussed the most important part in the pods, which is why right now, after the honeymoon, they are in this situation. Because even in the honeymoon, when they were talking about moving together, whenever they had an argument about something, they would just switch the subject instead of talking about it, so that they could be they could know each other opinion on that, and they just waited until they did not have any other option than to speak about the subject. Also, I've seen that a lot of people are saying that Tatiana, she wants to like, she is a gold digger. She is after Yannick's money, but she is she's a businesswoman. We saw her her beauty salons. Even in Paris, like in the African community, she's known for her beauty salons. When you want to have a silk press, you know that you can go there. And
But
Yannick, we
does
haven't
Yannick
seen.
have any money?
Yeah, she has money,
No,
and
Yannick, does he have any money? If she digging for
I
gold,
don't know.
does he
I don't
have
know.
gold?
So I don't know, but because I don't want to, to listen to the rumors, because everyone is saying everything about them. But in the show, like, I'm gonna stick by the show. Yannick said that he wants to be a house husband. Like, to me, if
Yes.
you have businesses, when you get married, do you want to become a house husband? Like, to me, it's weird. And also, he was talking about black love, being an African, and when she asked him, how does he want, to how how does he see the finances in a couple? He did not want to answer. He asked her, so she gave him her vision, and she told him that, as African, you're the chief of the family, so you are the one responsible for the expenses. But she told him that, they are both adults. She works, he works, so she's not, expecting him to pay for everything. But what she wants is to, in case, her activity goes down, she wants to still keep her lifestyle. And he did not say anything. And then when he talked to the camera, he was making her pass as a gold digger, as if, she didn't, because he said that basically she doesn't want to be with someone who would be at minimum wage. And like,
Right.
that's not
Sir,
what
are
she
you
said.
at minimum wage?
Yeah, that's the question, because even Charles, that I suspect was doing, unemployment soft launch, because when he asked Julie if if he loses his job, what would she do? And she said that she would take a second job. Like, we saw him with a shirt on his laptop. I was like, okay, he's acting like he has a job. But we did not see Yannick going to his job, introducing us to what he's doing. And that's suspicious to me.
So, see, for me, I would be like he has a remote job, but it
Mhm.
wouldn't be suspicious if someone didn't have a job, because we know from other previous Love Is Blind, some
Mhm.
people had
Mhm.
to leave their job in order to do the show. The
Yeah.
job said you can't come back, or you can't take a leave of absence to do the
Mhm.
show.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
my thing is, are you hireable?
Yes, yes. And even, like, it's not just the fact that we didn't see his job, it's all those things, combined together, that makes me sub um
Suspect?
suspicious.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And also, like, when he organized the date, so he was playing soccer with his friends. You organize something, the person that you invited comes before you, you're late, you're not calling her to let her know that, sorry, I'm gonna be late. She has to call you several times. Like, for me, I call you 2 times, you don't answer, it's it's over. She called you several times. She asked you, where are you? You say, um everyone can be late. You don't even offer an apology. And then you um try to make her, I don't know how to say it, but to me,
Make her
like,
feel
the
bad.
French. Now, in the French version, it was like, if you want to do it alone, do it alone. I don't know why you're mad. Like, everyone can be late. That's what I got from the French version.
And that's what
And
they
then,
told us too in the English version.
okay, so we are in the same. We have the same thing. And then, when they both go to Tatiana's mom's house, he says that, like, she says that he never apologized. And I was like, wow. So you're not coming, you're late, you don't apologize, I have to call you. And I don't know why
No gift
he.
for my mama.
Yeah, no, let me come. Let me
Now, which
finish that
which
first.
one is worse? Is it in the French culture or the African culture, coming in the house empty-handed?
Both
Which one?
cultures, above cultures. Like, you cannot come empty handed. Even like, when they were in their apartments, and all the couples came to I think it was Chloe and Alexander. I don't know who hosted,
Yes,
but
yes,
even
it was them.
Thomas, he brought a bottle of wine.
Yes, he did.
Like, you cannot come empty-handed. Even the French white people here, we know that when you go to their houses or when they come to your house, they're not gonna bring food, but they will bring alcohol. That's for
But
sure.
hey, y'all make it. Y'all create it. I mean, champagne. Come on,
Yes.
something. The wines.
Yeah.
Come on. I
Yeah.
just at every store on the corner, you could grab a bottle of wine. I mean, come on.
Yes. Yeah. But I don't know. I think that the date situation, maybe he did it on purpose because it was just after the prenup
Notary.
agreement.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe, I don't know, they had, maybe he had some resentment, so he organized a date and did not come. And even the way he explained to her that he was going to be late, like, it, to me, it's not the behavior of someone who wants to marry you. Like, you want to marry me, you have to to show me that you're the best person, that I should not look at any other man. And you're acting like this, like, just a few days before our wedding. That's, to me,
Well,
it's like as if
here's me
he
on
abandoned him. He
right
abandoned.
here I am. I agree. I hear you. Let me throw a little bit of salt in it for you on
Okay.
Yannick's side.
Mm-hmm.
She came home that time, and he
Yes.
had to kind of ground her and bring her into being present. And
Mm-hmm.
he whether he cooked or whether he took the food out the box, he plated it.
Yes.
He plated it, and
Mm-hmm.
it felt like there was no thank you. There was no thank you for thinking of this, of getting this together. Because if he truly trying to be a house husband, he needs this kind of appreciation.
Mm-hmm.
So, and then that's where I think he got dismissive and was on his phone when she was trying to talk. I was like, ooh, this is already started. So
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
thinking that too kind of fueled it. It's like, okay, I'm trying to, maybe he's trying to apologize by having dinner
Mm-hmm.
ready, and she just came in whirlwind.
Mm-hmm. Yes, yes, I see. But she's not innocent either, because even for me, she came as if she was trying to imposing her lifestyle on him because she had a son. Like, even when she asked him, where are we going to live? She's like, okay, I have my son, so we need to live in this city. Like, she did not even offer him to give her his thoughts, and she almost decided for them. And
Right.
even I was feeling bad. I was like, okay, you have a son, but that's not a reason to impose things on other people. And I think that there is a lot of bottled up resentment on both sides, which is
Yes.
why when he came to her mom, maybe that's why he came empty handed. And also, when she asked her mom that they did not sign the prenup, like the way she
Hmm.
asked her mom, come on, we know that you talked with your mom and you were going to ambush him.
You told mom he broke.
I think so.
She told mom he ain't got no money, he ain't
Hmm.
got no nothing, and it sounded, especially when she chastised him to turn
Hmm.
off that phone. I
Yeah.
was like, this is, whether you like him or not,
Hmm.
mama, this is a grown man. Would you like someone speaking to your grandson this way when he becomes 30
Hmm.
something and looking for a wife? I don't
Yeah.
think people put into perspective the other person and how much that treatment could affect someone close to you in your life.
Yeah. Yeah. That you're
Okay.
right. And
Well, let
the
me get,
mom.
uh-huh. Go
Yes.
ahead. Let me let you
I,
land, and then let me get Sam and Ari to give their thoughts on
okay, I'm
Yannick
gonna
and
finish
Tatiana.
with the mom then. So the mom is Ivorian. So when she was speaking French, like, I'm not Ivorian, but I grew up with a lot of people from Cote d'Ivoire, so Ivory Coast.
Hmm.
And the way she was speaking to him, she was annoyed, but she wasn't mad. Like, let me tell you, she wasn't mad, because this is, when they are mad, it's worse than this.
Really?
It's worse than this. And I don't know if you have listened the French dub or the English dub, but when you listen to it with the French dub, you can sense that she's annoyed with him, like she doesn't want things to get further. But also, when I look at Tatiana, the way she was speaking and even her body language, it felt like as if she too has, abandoned the idea of marrying Yannick, which is why she did not say anything when her mom was talking to Yannick like that. And I feel like she was hiding a little bit behind her mom so that her mom will, break things up so that she does not have the responsibility to do it. Because to me, she's a grown
Right.
woman. She's 39. You don't have to hide behind your mom so that,
No.
to do those kind of things. And
And
which
you saying Mama wasn't angry? I mean, I listen to it. What I do is and certain scenes I make sure to hear the French because I
Mhm,
want to hear your tone of voice, and
mhm.
I read the subtitles, and I'm hearing the Mama's tone, especially when she said, "Turn that off." I was like, "No, Mama."
No, I can assure you she wasn't mad. Like, I'm from Senegal. My mom, she's calm. Like, my mom, she's very, very calm. And she has Ivorian friend. One day, her Ivorian friends, two of them, they came at home and they were arguing. They were mad. When I tell you they were mad, even my mom was like, "Okay, get out of my house. You two, get out of my house." But that's the way they speak. Like, even if you look at videos from people in Ivory Coast, that's the way they speak. They are very loud, and like it's like when someone people say that some Latino people are feisty, it's the same thing. So she was annoyed, very annoyed, but she wasn't mad at him, because even him, he was sitting there and did not say anything, because in West Africa, that's like, when you know that you have done something wrong, because he's wrong too. And also, I think that if he had brought something, like, to her mom, she wouldn't have been so annoyed.
I'm
I don't
I'm
know if
sorry.
I'm
I'm sorry, Ari and
mhm,
Sam. I know I'm taking a while, but I do have some questions since we have the French delegation here in the form of Alicia and Jay. I
mhm.
have to ask this.
Yes.
When Yannick said, "I
Mhm,
don't sit here and
mhm,
take this from my own mother,"
mhm.
I thought Mama was going to flip a lid. I thought that was disrespectful. Now,
Yeah.
is that what he said in French?
Yeah, that's what he said. And she said, "I speak to you the way I want to speak to you."
Oh, child.
And let me tell you, like, to me, it was disrespectful as well. But, it's the new generation. We are the new generation. We are actually, talking about that, about the fact that the elders, they expect respect from us, but they do not respect us. But in Tatiana's mother's mind, an African child, like any other, is her child. Like, for instance, if Tatiana did something bad and another auntie talked to Tatiana this way, I don't think that she will take it, in the wrong way, because it's, you are a child of the community.
Understood.
So if you do something bad, every other elder can tell you that, no, what you're doing right now is wrong.
So
But there is
basically,
ways to say it.
So basically, Yannick is getting it from every elder in Paris right now.
Yes.
Love
Like,
it. Love it. But I didn't know if it
mhm,
was considered disrespectful at all, because I know when she said, "I am Queen Mother," when she said that is what I
mhm,
got, the "I am mother to all of you and I am
mhm.
the elder in the room." I got that and I was like,
Yes,
yikes.
exactly. Yes.
Yikes.
That's
And Yannick was
mhm,
just rubbing it. I mean, hats off to him. He
mhm,
he was he was stiff, but he didn't say anything other than that. I'm a grown man, and I don't take
mhm,
this from my mother. I don't have to take it from you as her
mhm.
mother. I said, yikes, Mama's about to snatch him
That's
and put
why
him
she
out her
reminded
house.
of that. That's why she reminded him of that. And like, it's a discourse among, the French African community, because we know we have both cultures. So when he said that, I don't even take this from my mother, I think it was his French side saying
Whew.
that. But when she said, like, "I'm Queen Mother," because they say Queen Mother in the English version, but in French version she said, "I'm the older
Yes,
mother, vieille mère."
yes,
So it's
yes.
like, she's saying, "I'm the eldest in the room." So
Yes, that's
I
what I
think
did pick up. I don't know
mm,
too much French, y'all, but I
yeah.
did pick up that I said, "Oh, these are the little pieces that the
Mhm.
English dub and translation, sets it differently." And that's why, even it gives context to the culture if we get
Yes.
it correctly. And what last week, I don't know if you saw the live, I was getting at Kim for like, she was like, "What's up? What do you mean? What's up? What is that?" We forget,
Yes,
right? We
yes.
forget, just like English, we
Mm-hmm,
have different dialects across the United States of America, across
mm-hmm,
Canada. We have
mm-hmm.
different dialects to our English. When someone from Texas is saying howdy,
Yeah.
people somewhere will be like, "What the heck is that?" So I
Mm-hmm.
have to remember there are different dialects of French from Africa to the Caribbean to Europe. There are different dialects, and I was like really getting on Kim, like, "Are you too posh?" Just to understand what's up. But I had to remember that is not the French she grew up with.
Yes, yeah, exactly. But her mom was, let's say that her mom was, what's the word for, when you don't, she was despising him. That's it. She
Right,
was
right.
despising him. Like, it's not that she's not disrespectful. It is disrespectful, but for her, it feels like he disrespected her daughter. So that's why she has to be disrespectful to him. And I think that if
Mm.
it was Tatiana's dad, like if he was the black man, and he talked to Yannick that way, Yannick wouldn't say anything,
He
because in our
couldn't.
culture we know that, because there is no man in the room, he's the only man. That's why I think her mom
Yes.
thought that she needed to be, this harsh towards him, because
And
my
and
dad is like that.
and I would ask that of you and of Jay, because I was thinking the power dynamic and the power on display. Yes, mom is queen mother or elder mother in the room.
Mm-hmm,
Yannick is also the grown man in the room. I'm like,
mm-hmm.
how is that power dynamic there? Where that's why he felt emboldened to say, "I don't take this from my own
Yes,
mother." It's like, "I don't take
exactly.
this from any woman." That's how
Mm-hmm.
I got it. And I was like, is the power going to shift in the room? Because there is a respect for a grown man, but
Mm-hmm.
there's still elder respect. That is what I saw was kind of pulling and tugging in
Yeah.
the room.
Yes, yes, that's exactly that. And like, last thing, I think that Yannick was expecting maybe Tatiana's mother to be the white person
Ooh,
in the because I was like, maybe he thinks that she's biracial with the white mother. Maybe that's why he think that if he comes empty-handed, nothing will happen. The
mm,
way when I think that if you go back and watch the episode, when he enters the room, the way the mother looks at him with empty-handed, and then he says sorry in French. He says sorry. It doesn't say this only in French. He said it in English. As if she was his little friend. Like, everyone is like, wow, he said sorry, like she's his little friend. And I was like, no.
right. He used the casual French, and I was like,
He used English. He actually used English to say sorry.
Yannick he walked in the room, all kinds of, oh, he was going to get it.
He
I
had
knew
it
when he
coming.
walked in with nothing, he
He
was going
had
to
it
get it.
coming.
But what I meant to say is, even when he said hello to her,
Mm-hmm.
her mom,
Mm-hmm.
for me, it sounded like the non-formal French of saying hello. It sounded, how
Yeah,
you
yeah.
would say, speak to someone like, "I ain't
Mm-hmm.
your friend." You would speak to
Yeah.
your parents, and I
Mm-hmm.
guess I'm thinking of it in the Spanish sense. In Spanish, there's a more
Yes.
formal
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
usted, and you wouldn't use the,
That's exactly that. He talked to her at first in the informal way, because in French we have
gotcha.
tu for
Yes,
you as informal and vous as formal. And he did not say vous. He said tu as informal. That's
that's
you
what I thought.
exactly. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, you are spot on.
Okay, you're giving me some kind of confidence that I didn't forget all the French my friends tried to teach me. Oh, but thank you so. Stay on, Alicia.
Yeah,
I want
yeah.
to get Ari and Sam's input on Yannick and Tatiana.
Okay.
But please
Thank
stay on.
you.
You're
Thank you.
welcome. Sam, you want to go?
Sure. Yeah. I mean, you guys really took my major talking points, because I'm right there with both of you. Two things were happening from my standpoint, and I'll lead with this and revisit it in just a second. When you're talking to your mom or your friends about things, but specifically your mother, remember, moms remember. Long after you have gotten over whatever you've gotten over, mamas remember. So, so I'll revisit that in just a moment. The first thing, and this is the drum that I will always beat with this show, and I'll be beating it tomorrow again with Love is Brazil. When you are in these pods, and Alicia touched on this, there are conversations that are simply not being had. And the problem with that is that because of that lovey-dovey space that they sit in these pods, then when they get out of the pods, now for the first time, they're having to have these talks around things that are alarming. But as you're getting to know each other in the pods, that's the time to find out, what do you like? What don't you like? What's irritating? Well, what's irritating is when people are not on time. What's irritating is when people don't ask me about my son and want to learn more about the dynamic of our relationship. You see, all of these things are things you get to when you're really trying to get to the nitty gritty of, is this marriage material? Those conversations were not being had with those two, and not just those two, but since we're talking about those two, they really weren't being had. And so as we saw on the, I guess they call it the honeymoon, but I refer to it as, or maybe Brazil calls it honeymoon, but the pre-honeymoon trip.
I call it a vacation. They all call it a honeymoon, but I call it vacation.
Thank you. That's a better description. While they're at the vacation, now Tatiana is looking a little bit surprised that, he's not asking questions about her son, and he seems to be, confused about this. And then let's not even talk about the whole, he used to date one of her friends, that whole dynamic, that I guess he was dating a friend of hers and he didn't say, and the woman never said. So I don't know if she repeated that to her mother too. So what's happening is all of this is happening, and she's kind of learning about it. And we're seeing, as Alicia said, we're kind of reading that it almost seems like she's pulling it up a little bit. The blinders are coming off. She's seeing things for how that's happening. While that's happening, I believe she's having these conversations with her mother. And as she's having conversations like this with her mother, that tension is building, which is why when homie walked in the door, mama's ready. Mama's ready to say what you should have said, wouldn't say, won't say, will be saying, whatever, however. That's why mama was so hot and she's so ready. Tatiana is okay with that because now she's beginning to see for herself, yeah, this is not looking so good. Mama's probably saying, look, you know who you are, right? You're beautiful, you're accomplished, you have your own business, you're a mother, you're about it, and you're not going to let some clown come along. What did he ask you about your son? Did he ask anything? What does that tell you? I think mom is chirping and getting her good and ready, which is why we are now kind of seeing her, because I think this was the preview for next week, but I thought Tatiana basically crossed her legs at the wedding, at the dress ceremony, and said, I won't be trying on a dress today. Now, I couldn't
that was episode 7. She said, I'm happy for all of you ladies, but I won't be trying on a dress today. And scene.
Voice didn't
And why did you come?
Then what? That's all I'm saying. It was almost as if the more she could see everybody was happy and emotional and this and that, she's feeling like, I'm not having those feelings. And mama was looking more and more correct in her assessment. And now she's adding up those pieces. That's what we saw with mom there. Now, after Yannick leaves, there's the whole debriefing that you have with your mom, right? I see he didn't come. Right. Let me count the ways. He didn't bring a gift. He said he doesn't have to take this. Blase, blase, blah. So yeah, that's my takeaway was, I guess in short, in summary, you have to be having these conversations. It's great for the carnage as the viewer, but these conversations must be had while you're in the pods, because if you don't have them, then when you find out he's okay to be a house husband, when you find out that, or you haven't found out, like his attitude was, well, we will reschedule the perfume making event. It's not that big of a deal. Just tell the folks that something's come up. Things happen. It's life. This is not the hill to die on. It wasn't a cancer diagnosis. It's simply, we can't make perfume. That type, he didn't say that, but that kind of swag of, I know we're not fighting about this, but maybe if these things are being talked about ahead of time, you get to learn about the quirks, the things that agitate you, the things that don't agitate you. That's why sometimes in these pods, the tears are coming. They're crying about emotional things that you're getting to because you're diving deep. And it sounds like finances weren't even talked about. I mean, even if you talked about nothing else, even if you discussed nothing else, finances needed to have been what you talked about. The more I'm talking about it, the madder I'm getting. So I'm going to pass this over to Ari.
Because guess what? Love don't pay the rent.
No, never has and never will.
Ari, set us off. Continue to set
I
us off.
mean, I don't know what more I can really say because I don't know if I really care enough about them. I mean, I was okay with them, I guess. I thought they were cute together when they finally connected and went on a little vacation. But as time went on, I was just like, I don't know if I really care. I mean, I know it might sound callous to say this, but yeah, I don't know. I mean, and I told Elsa this offline. Um, you know, uh, I took notes from episodes 5 to 7, right?
Lots of notes.
And yes, I started out with 11 and a half, like at the top of this live, 11 and a half pages of notes. And I showed her the picture of what the notebook looks like. But as the kind of live went on a little bit, I fully got to 12 pages completely because I wrote a note about Tatiana specifically because I don't know, she kind of gives off a little bit. I'm not sure if it's 100%. So this is the only thing I can really say about them right now. But she kind of gives off the vibe to me that, and if you are in the US and you are on the TikToks, I kind of say it like that because I don't know if they'll do anything with the actual name of the app, but there's because I've seen it on there enough times where women complain about their boyfriend or husband doing X, Y, and Z or not doing X, Y, and Z. Or they even showing the video of the husband doing stuff like just not so, basically painting their significant other in a bad light. And I was getting that a little bit when Elsa was talking up by herself, and I was like, I'm not 100% sold that it's that for sure with her, but I was thinking about the fact that when Yannick had come over to visit her mom and her friend, because she went straight away to, well, he didn't sign the notary paperwork. I was like, girl, straight away to that. I was like, please,
Mama, get him. Mama, get him.
And so that's kind of why I was thinking, like, is she the type to say and do or show her significant other in a bad light to the point that she wants to complain about him, but then I'm not sure if she's the type to just get mad if the other person says, well, I think you should leave him or whatever, or we all saw that she didn't really do much when the mom was getting on him by and large.
Enjoying the show. She was enjoying the show.
Yeah, so yeah, that's why I'm not so sure if it's the 100% what I'm talking about, but I was like, girl, did you really have to do that? Like, really? So that's the only thing I could really say. I mean, I, like many people in the US, was thinking the mom was a little bit too harsh. I mean, with what Alicia was saying and, giving some more context, I am a little come off that a little bit, but I still think that, I mean, I'm a person who's like, don't talk to me any old type of way. Don't speak to me, because I'm much of a type of person who just doesn't like being talked to any sort of way. So that's why I understand that there is context to their to where they come from. I'm so like, please don't do that, because all that's gonna do is make me shut down and want to get petty back. Like I'll ruminate on what to say to you, and I'll go below the belt if I ruminate on it long enough. So please don't do that. Like, I get it, the background and all that, but please don't, because me and Sid kind of like are like that, or similar, I think, where we kind of like say off the wall stuff. I mean, she might be more of the say it quickly, but
why you telling my business?
but I can ruminate all day long, and then like when I find the right opening to kind of hit below the belt, I'll do that. So please don't do it. Please do not piss me off with coming at me any old type of way. Sorry, but that's my only 2 cents. Sorry, I'll leave my plan there.
No problem. Sword Child 001. Hey, what do you have to say about Yannick and Tatiana? Thank you for coming on. I can't hear you, Sword Child. If you're speaking, I can't hear you. I know you're unmuted. Do you want to leave and come back? I still can't hear you, but what I'll do is remove you from the stage. And if you can come back, exit and come back and see if it'll work, okay? I definitely want to get your perspective as well, okay? So if you want to exit out and then click the link again, sometimes that happens. We know that. So we have a question. We have a question while Sword Child comes back. A question from the audience. If you think was Tatiana's mom more rough than Jasmine's mom from Love is Blind UK season 1? If anyone who's seen Jasmine's mom in her rare form.
I think I can take that.
I haven't watched it.
Okay, no problem. No problem. Go ahead, Sam.
I think that's a good question. I think that Tatiana's mother was more rough, I think, verbally, where I think Jasmine's mother was I think she equally had those concerns, but that's not how she articulated it.
Gotcha.
It didn't have the same energy.
Mm.
And I don't mean that from an angry Black woman perspective. I want to be very clear. That's not where I'm headed with that in any way, shape, or form. I just mean from an energetic perspective, I was clear Jasmine's mother felt some type of way for sure, was sitting in her, irritation of it all. But the way she articulated it, now, I don't think Jasmine's husband felt any better about it. I mean, he looked like he was very uncomfortable. He was very concerned, but the energy of it all was different. That was my take.
Thank you so much, Sam.
I did watch that. This was like over a year ago, so mind you, it's a little foggy, but yeah, I mean, I think I for the most part agree with Sam that it was really just the delivery with Yannick's mom that made it, in our point of view, worse. And so yeah, that's really all I can kind of give on that.
Okay, no problem. Let's try this again. Sword Child 001. Okay, I'm not hearing you if you're speaking. I don't know what's going on with StreamYard, or if it's your audio.
I remember the first. I think the first time I had like come up on live or whatever with you. Like, I don't remember if it was for Love is Blind one or like a unsolicited advice one, but I remember when I had come up, I had my computer muted when I had tried to come up on
okay, so make sure your computer isn't muted.
Like, yeah, when you come up.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Oh, there you go.
That was brilliant.
Yay, Ari with the technical support.
Praise the Lord indeed.
Thank you for having me. It's lovely to be able to discuss this. I've been dying to talk about it to someone.
Well, we are here. We are here. Glad you found us.
Thank you. I think you guys were discussing the situation with Yannick and Tatiana's mom.
Yes.
So personally, I know that I've been looking all the discussions online, and I know lots of people felt that Tatiana's mom was like super rude and she was really awful to Yannick and everything. But as far as I'm concerned, he got what was coming to him, to be honest with you. He was I watched the show in French. It comes across way worse in French. I didn't watch the dub version, but the French version, it was bad. And also culturally, to just even come to someone's house in any culture, really, especially you're about to meet your mother-in-law for the first time, or the in-laws for the first time. You've been on this crazy show where now your kid's married, essentially, or about to marry in weeks, and you don't turn up prepared, you don't turn up like you care, you have your phone on. It's just such bizarre behavior to me. And I have seen that, it seemed like Tatiana did a little bit of like, an intervention with saying things to her mom about him, and that's not necessarily like, or supporting her man and all that, but to be honest, was it very much there to support? To be honest.
Oh, maybe so there's a lot to support. You got to prop him up. But I don't know if you heard earlier, Alicia said Mama was mad. That wasn't mad. That was disappointed, but that wasn't mad.
I think it was just very disappointing behavior. And I think a lot, I don't know what Tatiana's dad is. So it seems like it's just her and her mom for the most part. And so she's very protective of her daughter. She's already seen her daughter struggle and have to raise her son on her own, which may be something that she may not have done or not. I don't want to assume. And this dude's just there and just canceling date willy-nilly, not wanting to sign a prenup. Like, why? She's extremely successful. It makes sense. If a man had done that and said to a woman, and a woman had not signed a prenup, everyone would be out there calling her a gold digger. I just think the whole thing just reeks of misogyny to me. Like, I don't like to throw the word out all the time for no reason, but it's just like, and this is not also, I'm getting quite tired of the show constantly making women of color, but especially like the mamas, like it's not the first time now, it's like the third or fourth time this has happened, where women who are just trying to protect their daughters or sons, but mostly their daughters, are just made out to be crazy. Yeah. And it's a narrative that's like, especially like, for example, I don't know if you guys have watched Love is Blind UK.
Yes.
But Sarava's mom, I wish she went crazy on Carl, to be honest.
Well, here she is. She would be a woman of color not acting wild.
I wish she had. I think she would have wanted to, but she didn't. But this is what I mean. You're either like, you're left in an impossible situation, because she was there with her daughter, and she was trying to be as best as she could to be supportive. I can't remember the name of the lady. There was another. The very first one that I remember was someone that was branded as like this tiger mom, all online.
We just said that Jasmine's mother, Jasmine and Bobby, her mother.
Yeah, but the thing is, Jasmine and Bobby manned up. As far as I know, they're still together. I don't know. I haven't been following them up.
And they are together, and they're expecting a son.
Exactly. So there you go. So it's not, I mean, granted, I can say that, Tatiana's mom was way more rude or whatever. But then again, Jasmine's mom did not have that much to be rude about. He did not show, they were both very much a unit. She felt, she was very comfortable in who she's chosen. She was very able to be secure in that relationship. And the fact that, Yannick is not able to do that for Tatiana just speaks volumes. I think, like, as a mom, when your kid's happy, when they're not feeling safe, you know things about your child, and I don't think it's wrong. Like, if it was my kid, I don't care if they're like, 5-year-old, 1-year-old, or 90 years old. I don't care. Like, I wouldn't be putting up with nonsense. And I don't think, yeah, of course, you can always be respectful and everything like that. But I think at the same time, there has to be a point of like, look, you have to make your point heard well, loud and clear. And I think he was just so disrespectful the entire time. That's my personal view. But I've also heard that maybe there's some editing involved here that's making Tatiana looks a lot better than she is. I don't know. So yeah.
Well, we do know editing is heavily involved. I already got on editing about why did we see their meeting with the notary. We didn't need to see them at the table with the notary. We could have just had from the couch where we clearly know he didn't sign the prenup. So I think there is, definitely editing is very involved. I would have liked to have seen, if we do a notary, at least show us Thomas, where Thomas said something wild that Kim did not like. I mean, I find that they are, editing things in a certain way as they always do. But it's like those simple things. I wonder, why are you showing us, just him not doing it? My other thing with them is that he said he wants to be a house husband. So he didn't really need much money, does he?
No.
He wants to be a house husband. And there's nothing wrong with that. If that is what she wants, and if that's what he wants, there's nothing wrong with that. It ain't for me. But it's certainly, fine for them if they want. But in the dynamic, as I said, I don't know if you heard, is not only the mother elder figure, but we also dealing with him as the only man in the room. I felt that there was a power dynamic there. Yes, he was rude when he told her, I don't take this from my own mother, but mama was coming. There's a way to protect her daughter. And what I want us to understand is that they can't have this footage unless we give them this footage. And there's a way mama could be like, well, sweetie, why didn't you sign that prenup? What is going on? Are your finances okay? Are you good? There's a way to disarm him, because when you come at him like that, his defense is up and he's ready for battle. You had got to come like Cynthia. Cynthia walked in the room and was dripping and was very soft-spoken, and she got Jonathan in her grasp. So I'm like, there's sometimes a way to come at him without him realizing you are coming at him. But hey, that's just me editing. That's just me, sorry if I'm tone policing people, if people feel like that. But I'm just like, mama, we know exactly you're protecting your daughter. Tatiana, you know how this could be edited to make you look a certain way. Now, even though they were the main event, I don't want to stay on them. We have lots of issues to go through with folks. Does anyone want a last word on Tatiana and Yannick? Because I feel like we've exhausted them a bit. Okay,
I'm good.
So you're good. Okay, let's go on to let's continue how we are going with the pictures. Thomas and Kim. If he put his elbows on one more table, she gonna dump him. I'm sorry, but Thomas
Are we sure she's not going to do it now? Because, I mean, at this point.
She's doing it now, because here's Anais coming up talking about Eleanor and how you was with Eleanor. And you were just with Eleanor. And here's my thing. I'm sorry, Thomas. I ain't on your side. The fact that you're like, it wasn't really a relationship. It wasn't really anything. It screams to me a smash and dash. And then you are checking on her when you came back. That's like making sure she's still marinating for you. We've kind of iced out JJ. Do you want to tackle this Thomas and Kim situation for us?
Okay, I mean, yeah, I'm sure I'm gonna go first on that. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, sorry, because I was on mute earlier. So,
No, you're
yes,
fine. Mm-hmm.
with the situation with Thomas, I don't know, like I only watched the French version, so I didn't know how it translated like in the English version. For what I got, he said like he kept in touch with the Eleanor girl, like the woman, because she has a kid as well. I don't know if it's because like they both parents and they uh like I'm assuming maybe like the kids were friends, that's why maybe like they were in touch. But for what I understood, like they never slept together, right? And afterward he said like even he showed the text messages to Kim, and there was pretty much nothing going on and stuff. when yeah, with him, like yeah, the way he deals with conflict sometimes is like always like want to stop, like oh my God, like I don't have time for it, like I'm done, I'm over. It's kind of pretty much immature. Like and yes, maybe it's not a big deal for you, but like Kim said, like okay, we just not getting into a relationship, we have to figure out ways to communicate. And yes, it might not be a big deal for you, but it is important for me. So you cannot just dismiss my feeling. You have to sit down and address, the situation. You cannot just walk off. He has done that now several times and stuff. So I don't know how it's gonna go and stuff. I feel like he really does like him and stuff. I'm sure, like, I mean, he wants pretty much some reassurance because, like, there was like a comment he made, like, oh, I'm like, what kind of pretty much, I was like, okay, raising your eyebrow, like, raise an eyebrow to me when he said, like, oh, you just in this experience because you want to wear like a beautiful dress at the end or whatever. So I was like, okay. But I don't think it's Kim personality. Like, she wouldn't bring like a mom on TV and a family if she was not serious. That's why I feel like I'm kind of 50-50 on her. Like, I think she might say, yeah, it might work. I mean, I don't know, like, she, yes, she's not like there's like the deep, she kept bringing the difference from education and all, like, the social class, his job, or this mannerism and stuff. But I do think, like, she does like him. The thing for me that's gonna confirm if they're gonna get married or not is Thomas introduce his daughter to her and stuff, which didn't happen, right? So we'll see. I don't know.
Thank you so much, Alicia. What are your thoughts on Thomas, Kim, Eleanor, Anais as a whole, David, all these people in the business, and Anais ain't letting up on him because I think he keeping track of Eleanor to spin the block.
Me too, me too. So first of all, I think that Anais, the way she came, that was so funny. You know, when she went to Thomas and then she asked him how he was. Even when you looked at her face and her tone, she did not care. She just wanted to confront him about this, and then she wanted Kim to let Kim know. To me, like I feel like it wasn't necessary because it's a friend of a friend who dated Thomas, and the way she was, making it seem as if yeah, Kim is my friend. I need to tell her. Okay, you want to tell Kim, but don't act as if it's something that is so important that you have to tell Kim because you care about Kim, like you know her for maybe 10 days. um that was bothering me, but then again I understand. And like, to me, if Kim was happy knowing that, that's the most important. And also it made us see Thomas for who he was, because from the beginning, to me, when he didn't choose Tatiana and he chose Kim, I was like, okay, so you can have a child, but you don't want a woman with a child that is older and has the same maturity. But he chose the younger girl that has that is less mature than Tatiana. And to me, it was like maybe he thinks that he can manipulate her. And that's what we saw with him, because every time they have an argument and that it doesn't go, in his side, he always says that, it's bullshit, it's not important. And he tries to use his upbringing, his rough upbringing, as a reason for why the thing that they are arguing with right now is not important. But also Kim, I think that she did not choose Thomas for the right reasons. To me, it was more of a competitive mindset, because when Tatiana talked about Thomas during the pods, um, the way she talked to the camera, saying that she will have him. And even right now at the mixer, when she talked with Clement, we could see that they had more chemistry. It was as if she was regretting it, and she couldn't even remember the voice of her future husband. So to me, it's like, are you sure you like him? But right now, when she sees that what Anna said to her, she sees that she has made concessions for Thomas, but she the way she's saying it is as if he wasn't good enough for her, and that she's lowering a standards for him, and this is what he's doing. And to me, as a woman, if you start like this, you're going to be disappointed, because men, you should not lower your standard and then take this I don't know how to say it, but it's like you're expecting him to give you something in return because you lowered your standards. And if
You
you
said it perfectly. You said
yeah,
it perfectly.
thank you. If you didn't do that, you would not be so harsh towards him. And I feel like she has a lot of family pressure, because even when her mom came, the little comments that her mom did, especially about the ring, I was like, okay, maybe if she grew up with this kind of mom, I understand why she thinks that everything needs to be perfect, and that she sometimes comes off as superficial. And even when we listen to her, she says that she has to marry, she cannot marry and then have a divorce because it's a failure. And I hope for her that she won't marry Thomas just for that, because they don't have, they are not compatible. She lives in her own world, he lives in his own world. He sees her as too superficial, but every time he says he's gonna leave, he doesn't leave, and then he says that she is the one who doesn't want to leave because she wants to wear a dress. I think that her dog's color can buy her as many dresses as she wants.
Right.
So I don't know why both of them are still in it, and I hope that they are not gonna marry.
I think they're in it because nobody wants to call it quits and be the bad guy. Kim
Yes.
doesn't want to call it quit and think that, he is beneath her, which she clearly, the way she comes across is that he is. And I think he's not going to quit because he doesn't want to admit he probably chose the wrong person.
Mm-hmm.
Because,
Yes.
I find it interesting with the whole mixer that we didn't see Yannick meet up with Cindy, but we saw well Thomas with Tatiana earlier. We
Yeah.
didn't see, we only saw Charles and Sarah. We didn't see everybody else's other
Yeah.
connection. We didn't see Sabrina with Julian. That kind of threw me off as to they were very selective, though we saw
Mm-hmm.
Cindy, Julian, and all the others were definitely there. But
Yeah.
let me get other folks, because what I'm going to do, y'all, is I'm going to ask y'all, since we have Thomas, Kim, we have Charles, Julie, and Alexander, Chloe, I'm going to ask you to pick a couple that you are, because we have the 2-hour mark, pick a couple that you are burning to talk about. And I'm going to have you talk about just that couple. And, we're going to do the round robin because I don't want the video to go too much longer. So Alicia, let me go to Sword Child 01, since she was the last one in. Out of those three couples, the Thomas, Kim, Charles, Julie, Alex, Chloe, who are you burning to talk about? You said you wanted to talk about somebody. We're here every week, though. Every week at 12 noon EST. If you want to talk about Love is Blind Friends. Go ahead.
I'll make sure to join in. So the one that I actually wanted to talk about, I'm kind of hesitating between Charles and Julie and Vanmi and Sabrina. But to be honest, I think I'm going to go with Vanmi and Sabrina.
Okay.
Oh my goodness, that meeting with Sabrina and Vanmi and his family, that was in my mind as bad as the one between Tatiana's mom and Yannick, but in a much more like icy cold kind of way. I don't know how what the dubbing was in English, but literally his sister said, like, maybe she's a psychopath or something. And I was like, I beg your pardon, I beg your pardon.
They told us psychopath. The pathology is that of a psychopath.
Like, maybe she's a psychopath, maybe she's this, and I'm like, I'm sorry, what? Like, that escalated quickly. But to be honest, I mean, I saw the interaction. It was not, I wish they did like slightly longer things sometimes. But the whole time, Vanmi looks super uncomfortable. Sabrina is like the most insecure. In fact, that can go for like the whole lot of them. The whole lot in France, you all need therapy or something. This was like, especially the ladies. It's usually the guys in most places, but the ladies in this show, You're letting the whole of France down, is what I'm saying. What was I was just like, what is this? The girls will hate each other. But anyway, I'm not going to go on to that and have a rant. But yeah, Vanmi and Sabrina. Sabrina's super insecure. She's constantly wanting attention. He doesn't seem to understand that he wants some interaction and some, confirmation and validation. So he doesn't do that. But at the same time, she also doesn't seem to realize that she's been super disrespectful. She completely slated him in multiple passive aggressive ways with his family present, and he looks so disappointed. That was my perception when I saw that. I was like, oh no. This guy's not going to say yes. If they even get to the altar, like, she ain't the one. She's not been the one for a while, but that's my piece about them.
Thank you very much. As I said, I just didn't want anybody to think that we weren't going to cover the other couples, but I kind of gave my synopsis earlier when we began, and since we're at the 2-hour mark, each panelist is going to get either one we haven't touched on or one they feel a burning sensation to talk about. Ari, who just is tickling your fancy right now?
Oh, I'm so happy you called about me next. I was like, I'm ready to talk about Alex and Chloe.
Okay.
They were the only ones who I felt were gonna walk down the aisle, say yes, and be together at the reunion. Personally, but as soon as we saw Alex just not say a word when they were sitting down at that bar, I was like, what is going on? And I'm trying to find a very PC way of saying this. Because we all know that they did the do on the little vacation. Or at least that's what I thought that they did. And so this is where the PC part comes in, because I'm trying not to.
You mean she's whipped? She's igmatized?
Well, but I was gonna say, based off of how he's acting, I was getting the vibe that he, like, how when
it wasn't good.
Not that. No.
I'm tired of the PC. Come on, say
it. When a guy, does the end deed and he has clarity after
post nut clarity, we could say
okay, I didn't want to say that in case like it was taboo, but yeah, post nut clarity. And now he is essentially regretting everything about choosing her and dating her and everything. I was like, because that's the only thing I could think of. I was like, what is going on? And I don't know, because at this point now, he seems like he is about 2 seconds away from walking out the door, going to pick up some Chinese food, and never returning. Because at this point,
not the Chinese food.
I'm so sorry. And it's just that's all I could think about, is the fact that he was having that post smack stuff, and I was like, at this point, because she loves him, she is all in, and this was even before she got demonetized. So
I think she got demonetized because she got the D. I think that was why she was staring at him with lovey-dove eyes. But that's just my opinion.
I think that helped. I personally think that helped a lot, but I just don't want to end up seeing her hurt at the altar, because I think she's a very sweet girl. I think she is one of the few that actually went on the show for the premise of actually finding a genuine connection and getting married at the end of this, like you're supposed to. So I just, that was my burning thing I wanted to talk about, because we hadn't gotten to them yet, and
right.
I was like, at that point, I needed to just say something about them, but I'll lay my plane there.
That's okay. Sam, which of the couples are you just burning, whether we got to them or not?
Well, forgive me, Ari, because I got to go to the same couple. I'm burning to say something too about them. For this reason, I think, and this is going to sound hyperbolic, and that's not the intent. I think they represent, and when I say they, more so Alex, represent the most dangerous type of people to have on a show like this. In this sense, she is all in, has been from the start. She has remained consistent. When at that bar things started to feel away, she had the class to say, you know what, I'm not feeling well. I got to excuse myself. The issue with Alex is that, now listen, you don't have to be honest with me. You don't have to be honest with Sam, Alex, but you need to be honest with yourself. You said it could take you up to 2 years to really get to a place where you're having feelings of love, where you can say, well, maybe not having feelings, but where you can say, with your chest, you told producers, I haven't said it to her and I'm not saying it in front of you either. Sir, this is Love is Blind. This is Love is Blind. To steal Ari's phrase, this is not Love Temptation, Love Island, or any of these. This is Love is Blind. So if you know that you are signed up for such a show, the ultimate goal of what the show is, and you know that you have a place and space where it can take you a bit to get to where you need to be, why are you on this show? And even when you know, Alex, that you can't even move forward, when she walked off and was, that might have been the time to say, look, I got to be honest with you. And it's not going to be easy to say. It might even hurt me more than it hurts you. I'm just not in it. I'm just not there. And I think I'm going to have to, as Fisher cut bait, I might have to cut bait because this is going to make it worse for you. Because if you're going to nitpick her on, well, she made arrangements to do this and that, and she's already picked 2 dates, and I wish she would have discussed it with me. Sir, you sound like you're nitpicking now because you won't just come clean and say what needs to be said, which is that the feelings that you thought you had in the pod may have truly been, but physically it's just not manifesting in the way that you thought it would. And to top it off, it takes you a couple of years to say, I love you. I mean, come on, sir, come on. So yeah, I know we don't want to go over the 2 over mark too severely. So I'll end there. But yeah, I'll end how I began. This becomes the most dangerous type. And I know the carnage can be fun to laugh at, but producers, I need you to be better about screening who comes in, because Chloe's got to walk away from however this ends and still try to remain whole. And she was, in pieces in a sense because of bad experiences when she walked in the door. So I don't know why there's not some sort of, I promise to end on here. I saw some other off interview with Kieran and Megan. And I think that the behind the scenes thing they said was they kind of get cues from producers on things you can ask, this and that. And if that's the case, somebody needed to cue him, sir, if you don't think you're in it, you may need to kind of say or ask questions, something. Anyway, I'm just now talking in circles. Thank you for letting me say my piece.
No, I'm going to push back on your piece. Hey, we put all of these 30 people in here. I think it is 30. And, Alex had to propose and Chloe had to accept. We didn't force them to choose each other. We didn't force Chloe in this position. She chose Alex and chose to accept his proposal. That'll be my only pushback. Alex could have been here and been sent upriver if she didn't choose to accept.
Yeah, I hear you.
Okay, now I'm gonna put. Never mind. I'll say that off.
Jay, you want to pick one?
Oh, why don't? Yeah, I'm gonna keep with Alex and Chloe. I mean, I kind of see it like a different way. I feel like maybe he's like getting scared, like he's having like chicken feet now, like it's like realizing, oh my God, it's coming out, it's for real. Like, wow, like it's gonna happen. For me, like, yeah, as a man, like you can go on a show like thinking like, yes, I'm ready to get married and whatever, but when it presents to you and then like you realize like, okay, I was able to match and I've like everything is going great and things like, when it's only like 3 weeks till the wedding and stuff. I think like wow, it's for him like he's not processing like it's really maybe what I wanted like is happening, but for me it's going a little bit too fast. my prediction like on this couple, for example, is like, yeah, like he might say no at the altar, but I'm sure he want to continue to date. They're gonna be maybe boyfriend, girlfriend. I do think he really likes her, but he really want to take time, and not maybe get to like be married right away and stuff like that. So I'm sure if you say no at the altar and predict maybe they're gonna continue dating, and at the reunion we're gonna see like they yes we taking our time and we like we we still together. That's my prediction because yeah, Chloe is definitely in love with him.
Yeah, Chloe is deep, deep in love. I don't think we can get her, the movie Get Out, I don't think we can get her up out of that sunken place that she is in. Um, Jay, was that your last thought on them?
Yes, I mean I don't want to go
Okay.
too long and stuff.
No,
Yes.
no, no. That. Thank you. Thank you so much. Alicia, you want to pick a couple?
Yes. So I'm gonna go with Vanmi and Sabrina.
Okay.
So I'm gonna be maybe a little bit controversial, but
Oh,
to
we
me,
like it.
so to me, um, Van Me, he strikes me as the type of guy who, when he's not in love with you anymore, he doesn't tell you that. He waits for you to break up with him. So, for, what makes me think that is that Sabrina told him, that she's insecure, that she needs reassurance, and even when she told him that he never called her beautiful, he says that he said that she's cute. Like, cute and beautiful is not the same thing. Then when they are arguing in the room off camera, he says that, oh, I'm biting my lip. I tell you, you're sexy. It's still not the same as beautiful. So now he knows that she, after the scene that she made and their argument that she needs him to call her beautiful, he still doesn't. And even when she apologized for all the mean things that she said, he's like, as if, he was checking out. And even his friend, when his sister comes, the first time they meet Sabrina, they say, oh, she's so beautiful. And I was like, so your friend can tell her that she's beautiful, but you cannot say it, even when she tells you that she needs to hear it. And I'm like, maybe he's doing it on purpose because she's not his type, but he doesn't want to tell her that and, be the bad guy. And, both of them, I think that they are not compatible. Maybe in the pods, they were compatible on paper, but when he saw her in real life, um he was like, okay, no. But I don't know why, because she told him like the background where her background, her cultural background. And like in France, it's a little bit of a cliche, but we know that people from North Africa, some of them, uh, they are, this kind of fiery, they have this kind of fiery nature, like not just North Africa, but all the people from the Mediterranean, they
Yes.
have this feisty nature. Like they have, in French we say hot blood, and he's the typical Asian guy. So we know that he's going to be shy. He's not going to talk a lot. He's going to be a little bit more
Sir.
reserved.
Yep.
And I don't know why he wasn't expecting that, but yeah. Other than that, I think that they should they should stop pretending, because even her, I don't think that he's her type. She said that he's calm and maybe he's gonna be an influence on her, to be calmer, but I don't think that's what she wants. So yeah, that's my take on them.
Well, she certainly is telling us that she gonna be in the waiting room asking the patients why are they there.
She was
Okay.
joking. She was joking.
Them's the kind of jokes that I need to pay attention to.
I know, but she told him. At least she told him.
Because if he was I'm going, I'm saying this for effect to be
Hmm.
jokey. If he's cracking Cynthia's back the way he was hers, okay, when he was pulling her shoulder to give her relief, and she came in and saw him, doing his job, but hugged that close to her, she will
Yeah.
tear up that office.
Hmm.
Van Me, you need to walk away. You ain't no saint either. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I'm watching Van Me and I'm like, dude, there's no affection. There's no this. I don't even see him kind of like hugging her a little bit, holding her hand. I don't see any kind of physical affection. He's telling you he don't like you without saying he don't like you.
Yes, yes. And he told us on camera that she made her declaration and it was so cute. But did you? Did you do yours? No? Why are you telling us? And now all the women in France, they are in love with him. You know, we have an app on where you can book appointments to, professionals. And he does not have any availability from this week. It stopped. Everyone is going there, and I was like, okay, I don't know why he came here. Maybe he came for the social experiment and also to up his business, but it's working.
But do we also know that Chloe is also a physical therapist?
Yes, but people are saying that Chloe is desperate, and when a man, because I don't know if you have seen his Instagram, but he put a video of him, doing his practice on the baby. All the women are like, "Oh my God, he's so cute! He's such a green flag." I'm like, those type of guys are the worst. That's the top types of guys who becomes like Jonathan, and then you're like, "What did I do wrong?" And then all of a sudden you are wearing a revenge dress like Cynthia, and you're like, "No, this is the type of man that we cannot let go."
Right, Van Me is no saint, okay? And yes, he does have thirst trap. He does give this, he wants to be, how we would say America's darling. He wants to be, France's darling. And there's something there under the surface with Van Me that I'm just not comfortable with. I think and here's the thing. Here's where I think it stems from. She wants to be told she's beautiful. She wants to be told she's gorgeous. She has told you that, and you still call her cute. You're poking the bear.
Yes, and I talked with a man not last week, and at one point we were talking, and he said that some women, when you compliment them, they think they're all that, and sometimes he doesn't give compliments because they don't deserve it. And I was like, do you think that your compliment is something that will change her mindset? Because I was thinking, for myself, I was like, I don't care if you tell me like I'm pretty or I'm not pretty. I know that I'm pretty. I know the time that I took to, do my makeup and to dress. I have my mirror. But now that I see people like Sabrina, I'm like, okay, to this girl, that's the effect that it does. And I don't know if that's what it's doing, but to me, it's like, if this is your fiance, is the woman that you're gonna marry, why don't you make an effort? And I feel like for him, it's not even worth it because he's not gonna marry her. And we saw how his sister called her a psychopath on international TV. So I think that he might have told her, about the argument. And I don't think both of them they're gonna marry.
Yeah, I don't think, I have hope, Charles and Julie, but I don't think anybody, will actually be yes on both sides. But it could be production, y'all. Production could be finessing us because we thought Jasmine and Bobby from UK season 1, ain't no way Bobby was saying yes after the tongue lashing he got from her mother. There's several times when we're like, there ain't no way, Kwame was going to be a yes with Chelsea. And we turn out, look, they're still married. Ain't no way Bliss was taking Zach, and since she was the complete second option. And here they are married with a family and being successful. So we know we're being fed the story a particular way. We are reacting to what we're being fed. As So a Child told us, they're like, we only going to talk about what we see on camera, but we know there's a lot going on in social media. So while we are, I'm hopeful that Alex will say yes to Chloe and he got to love. I'm hopeful Charles will say yes. The rest of them, Tatiana, we already know went home. And what I found cold with Tatiana going home, it was reminiscent of Marshall and geez Louise, I just forgot who his fiance was on his time. Marshall from Our Love is Blind. Yannick is there trying on a suit. He don't know she ain't trying on a gown. Again, a complete disconnect. Now we got to go home, and next week we're probably going to see Yannick and Tatiana's hashing it out as to why they're breaking up or whatever. To me, it's just tell him and don't show up to the gowns. Don't do this for me with Tatiana. But I mean, they given Jackie, thank you to go to Africa. Jackie was Marshall's fiance. She didn't even show up for the dress fitting. And Marshall was getting dressed. And he found out from another groom that his fiance didn't show up for dress fitting. I don't know if Yannick gonna find out until he gets home that Tatiana didn't try on a dress. She ain't trying on a dress, and there ain't gonna be no wedding.
As I said, I think that Tatiana doesn't want to be the bad guy. Hence why she let her mother do the dirty job. And maybe that's why she did not tell him either.
Okay, I hear that. So, child, I'm gonna give you a last 2 minutes to round us out, since you are the last. You were last to join us, Sword Child. If you want to give your 2 cents for 2 minutes, and then I will close us out.
I think my main thing is, I don't think any of these people are going to get married, unless some producer, someone's like making them or something. This was like, I mean, it's a great season to watch, but I feel sorry for all of the individuals, but especially those like Chloe, who really genuinely came because they wanted to meet someone.
We just lost your sound, so child.
For them, I don't think it was the right selection, and it was just a hot mess. And I know it's reality TV and everything, but the reason why I watch Love is Blind, and I'm sure many people do, is it's not for the hot messes. It's because I want to see people in this age of where everything is a blooming disaster to actually meet someone and, you know, find the happily ever after and still believe in that, you know. I don't need, it's just such a shame. And it's the first season. The first season is the one that usually does the best in terms of outcomes, you know, before you have all of the people trying to get it there for their Insta fame or whatever. They really missed out. And I feel like they let the whole of France down as far as I'm concerned. So that's my 2 cents on the whole thing. I don't know whether anyone would agree, but yeah.
Understood. I really do appreciate it. Understood. Y'all, this has been our weekly live. We were here last week for Love is Blind France. This is, you know, our second week. Next week we will be here again, and after the reunion we'll be here again. I may do a live reaction where I'm watching the reunion with you guys. You know, I may do that like I did for previous seasons, but definitely at 5 o'clock today, 5 o'clock EST, I'm recapping Project Runway. Tomorrow we have our unsolicited advice at noon EST, and Love is Blind Brazil, the over 50. If y'all are sleeping on the over 50, stop sleeping on them. They are trash, mess, and drama. Okay, so please, tomorrow at 5 p.m. EST, we're covering Love is Blind Brazil. Going to be doing it weekly, and then once Denver starts, we will definitely be doing a weekly. I cover the international versions of Love is Blind. I welcome you all to be here to, you know, converse like we are conversing very nicely with each other and giving our opinion and setting the stage for what we're going to find and see next week. But definitely, I appreciate you all. Jay, your mic is open. Did you have a last word?
No, sorry. Just thank you for having me on your platform. Thank you to the panel. It was really a nice conversation. I love the show pretty much. Thank you, Alcide.
And thank you for coming back, Jay. I thought, you know, I scared you. It was just you and me last week, okay?
Yeah, no problem.
Love is Blind UK. I did cover Love is Blind UK. I wondered if you're talking about MAFS, Married at First Sight UK. I'm not sure what you're asking me, Anonymous. I thought MAFS UK is coming out. I'm not sure about MAFS UK, but I do cover Married at First Sight Australia. I love Australia. I love MAFS Australia. So that'll be in January. But I'll be covering Love is Blind for Denver for the US version. But kind of like I'm coming MAFS. I don't know. I may, Anonymous Zoe Queen, if y'all come back, I may do MAFS UK because I love that East Indian young lady when she was coming in on her throne and being carried into the wedding ceremony. That alone would draw me in because I love to see traditions and weddings and relationships of all cultures, and that may draw me in. So yes, I may do MAFS. I have to look and see. I'm in the US if my VPN gonna get me there, okay? But thank you all so much for being here. Thank you, Alicia, Soachild001, Jay, Ari, Sam, thank you so much. Please make sure you all are subscribed to the channel. And hey, I'm here doing lives and recaps, and I wish you all a wonderful weekend, and come on back. We don't bite, as you see, okay? Thank you, and I'll see you.
Bye bye.
Thank you. I'll see you all on the
Thank
next
you.
one.
Bye bye.